The room is dark, but it is not truly dark. There is a cold blue light that flickers in the space between the pillow and the ceiling, a light that comes from a small, glowing screen. Beneath it, a person lies awake. Their body is tired, craving the release of sleep, but their mind is a turbulent ocean. The light from the screen is not a beacon of comfort, but a portal, pulling them back into the anxieties of the day that has passed and the worries of the day yet to come. The unanswered email, the conversation that ended poorly, the endless list of tasks that awaits at dawn. This is a silent prison built by our own hands and furnished with our own worries. Sleep does not come, only a deeper exhaustion, a sense of being trapped in the relentless cycle of thought. If this scene feels familiar, know that you are not alone. This is not a personal failure, but a symptom of our time. We live in an age that worships busyness, an age that demands we are always connected, always available, always on. Our minds, like a computer that is never allowed to shut down, become overloaded, fragmented, and exhausted. We seek rest, we crave it, but our own minds have forgotten how to grant it. The quiet of the night, which should be a blanket of comfort, instead becomes an amplifier for the noise within. The silence makes the inner chaos even louder, leaving us feeling adrift and overwhelmed. But there is another way, a path that does not ask you to run away from the pressures of your life, but instead teaches you how to transform your relationship with them. This path is found in the timeless wisdom of Zen Buddhism, presented here not as a complex religion to be adopted, but as a practical set of spiritual tools, an art of living that has been refined for thousands of years. The core teaching is this: the precious time, just before you fall asleep, is not a moment to surrender to chaos. It is a sacred opportunity. It is a time to perform a quiet ritual, to prepare the mind for a gentle return to peace. This journey does not require a temple or a dramatic change in your life. It begins with 10 habits, 10 steps on a path, 10 gifts you give to yourself each night. They are a bridge, leading you from the shore of a troubled day to the quiet harbor of a truly restful night, guiding you toward a mind that is not at war, but finally at peace. We begin our journey not with a complex meditation technique, nor with a difficult philosophical concept, but with something far more immediate and tangible. We begin with the very space in which you will lay your head to rest. In our modern world, the boundaries have blurred. The bedroom is no longer just a bedroom. For many, it has become an extension of the office, a late-night cinema, a dining room, and a digital town square where the arguments of the world echo long into the night. We scroll through our emails from the same pillow where we hope to find peace. We watch jarring news reports from the same mattress where we seek gentle dreams. We have, without realizing it, invited the chaos of the world into our most intimate sanctuary. The first habit of Zen practice for a peaceful mind is to reclaim this space, to understand a fundamental truth. The outer world is but a mirror, reflecting the state of the inner world. To cultivate a peaceful mind, we must first cultivate a peaceful environment. This is not about interior design. This is about spiritual hygiene. Take a gentle, honest look around your bedroom. What do you see? Do not look with the eyes of judgment, but with the eyes of a curious observer. See the pile of clothes, perhaps clean, but not yet put away. This is not merely laundry. This is a collection of small, postponed decisions. See the stack of papers, the bills to be paid, the reports to be read. This is not just paper. This is a physical manifestation of lingering obligations, a silent hum of unfinished business. See the glass on the nightstand from 2 nights ago, the book lying face down on the floor, the layer of dust gathering on a surface. These are not signs of failure. They are simply evidence of a mind that has been pulled in too many directions, a mind too preoccupied with the grand battles of life to attend to the small, quiet details of its immediate surroundings. The Zen perspective teaches us that there is no separation. The state of your room is the state of your mind. A cluttered, chaotic space does not simply exist alongside a cluttered, chaotic mind. It actively feeds it, perpetuates it, and validates its frantic energy. Every object out of place is a small, visual distraction that pulls at your attention. Every unfinished task that you see before closing your eyes is a tiny anchor, holding your mind to the world of doing, rather than allowing it to drift into the world of being. To change this is not a chore, it is a practice. It is, in fact, a profound form of moving meditation. There is a classic Zen story about a young, eager student who sought out a great master. He was full of questions about enlightenment, the nature of reality, and the path to liberation. When he arrived at the temple, he found the old master meticulously, slowly, sweeping the fallen leaves in the temple courtyard. The student waited, then bowed, and began to ask his complex questions. The master did not stop sweeping. He simply continued his slow, rhythmic motion. After a long silence, the student, slightly frustrated, asked, "Master, I have come all this way to learn the deepest truths of Zen. Why do you continue to just sweep the leaves?" The master paused, leaned on his simple bamboo broom, and looked at the young man with deep compassion. He said, "I am not just sweeping leaves. I am sweeping the dust from my mind." This story holds the key to our first habit. The master was not engaged in a mundane task to be rushed through, so that the real spiritual work could begin. The sweeping was the spiritual work, the gentle, repetitive motion, the single-pointed focus on the task at hand, the act of bringing order and cleanliness to a small patch of the universe. This was his practice. In that moment, he was not thinking about yesterday's sermon or tomorrow's meal. He was fully present with the broom, the leaves, the stone path, and in that presence, the mind, which is so often a storm of thoughts, becomes as calm and clear as the swept courtyard itself. We must learn to see our own spaces in this light. You are not just tidying up, you are performing a sacred ritual. As you pick up a piece of clothing from the floor, you are not just hanging it in a closet. You are making a decision, completing a cycle, and bringing a small piece of your world into order. As you wipe the dust from your nightstand, you are not just cleaning, you are consciously and deliberately clearing your space of the old, the stagnant, the neglected. You are sweeping the dust from your own mind. When you approach these simple actions with this level of mindfulness, with this intention, they cease to be burdens. They become opportunities. They are moments in your day where you can practice being fully present, fully engaged, and fully at peace with a simple, tangible task. The external action of creating order directly cultivates an internal state of order. The two are inseparable. This leads us to the crucial idea of the bedroom as a sanctuary and the importance of establishing a sacred boundary at its door. Your brain is a powerful association machine. It learns from repetition and context. If you consistently work on your laptop in bed, your brain creates a strong neural pathway that associates your bed with alertness, problem solving, stress, and the pressure of deadlines. It is no wonder then that when you try to sleep in that same spot, your brain refuses to switch off. It is simply following its training. It believes the bed is a place for work, To undo this programming, we must create a clear, unambiguous boundary. The bedroom should be consecrated for only two purposes: rest and intimacy, nothing else. This is an act of profound self-respect. It is telling yourself and the world that your rest is non-negotiable. When you physically remove the laptop, the work documents, the reminders of your professional obligations from your bedroom, you are creating a vacuum, and you must consciously choose to fill that vacuum, not with other distractions, but with the intention of peace. The doorway to your bedroom should become, in your mind, the threshold to a different kind of world. When you cross it at the end of the day, you are making a silent agreement to leave the world of demands, expectations, and anxieties behind you. They can wait. They will be there in the morning. But this space and this time is yours. It is sacred. Finally, we must consider the discipline of the senses. Our nervous system is in constant conversation with our environment through our senses. To create a sanctuary, we must curate what our senses are experiencing. Consider sight. The harsh blue-toned light from our screens, our televisions, and many modern light bulbs is a signal to the brain that it is daytime. It actively suppresses the production of melatonin, the hormone of sleep. The simple act of turning off these lights and using only a small lamp with a warm, soft, amber-toned light is one of the most powerful signals you can send to your body that the day is over. Darkness is not an absence of light. It is a presence of calm. It is a biological invitation to rest. Consider sound. We are bombarded by noise, and even in a quiet home, the sudden sound of a passing car or a humming appliance can be jarring. While some prefer total silence, others find that a gentle, consistent, ambient sound like soft rain or a simple, low hum can act as a sonic blanket, masking sudden noises and giving the listening mind something simple and non-threatening to hold on to. The key is to move from distracting noise to intentional, calming sound. And consider smell. The sense of smell is wired directly to the limbic system, the most ancient part of our brain, which governs emotion and memory. A scent can trigger a state of mind faster than a thought. Using a calming scent, like a single drop of lavender oil on a tissue by your pillow, or the gentle aroma of sandalwood incense, burned an hour before sleep, can become a powerful ritualistic anchor. Over time, your brain will build a strong association. This scent means safety, release, and the permission to let go. Creating a sacred space is the foundation upon which all other habits are built. It is the external expression of an internal commitment. It is the act of declaring that your peace matters, that your rest is vital, and that you are willing to take simple, concrete steps to protect it. Your bedroom is not just a room. It is the dojo where you will practice the art of letting go. It is the garden where you will cultivate the seeds of a quiet mind. It is the temple you build for yourself each and every night. Now that we have explored the profound philosophy of why our environment shapes our inner state, let us move from understanding to action. In our next step, we will walk through the gentle, mindful process of actually performing this ritual, transforming our physical space into a true sanctuary for the soul. In the space of understanding, we have seen how the world around us is a faultless mirror, reflecting the world within. We have touched upon the Zen wisdom that sees no difference between the sweeping of a floor and the clearing of a mind. Now, we must move from the realm of knowing to the realm of doing. For wisdom that is not embodied in action is like a seed that is never planted. This part of our journey is not a lecture, it is an invitation. It is a guided practice, a slow, deliberate dance of mindfulness. that will transform your physical space from a mere room into a consecrated sanctuary. I invite you now to join me in this ritual. Do not rush. There is no destination to reach other than the stillness of this present moment. This is not a race to tidiness. It is a slow walk into tranquility. Every movement is a prayer, every action an affirmation of your deep commitment to your own peace. Let us begin. Stand for a moment in the center of your room or near the doorway. Simply stand and let your eyes gently scan the space without the harsh glare of judgment. See it for what it is. It is a space that has held you, a space that has contained the energy of your day. Now, we will help it release that energy, just as we will help ourselves release it. Our first step is the act of clearing. Do not be overwhelmed by the entirety of the room. That is the mind's old habit, to see a mountain where there is only a single stone to be moved. We will not climb the whole mountain tonight. We will simply move one stone. Let your gaze settle upon one small area. Perhaps it is your nightstand. Perhaps it is the chair in the corner. Choose one single zone. This will be our focus. Let us imagine, together, that you have chosen your nightstand. Walk toward it slowly, with intention. Feel your feet on the floor. Feel the air moving around you. You are not just walking across a room. You are approaching an altar you are about to prepare. Now, look closely at this small space. Let us begin with the first object your eye is drawn to. Perhaps it is a water glass, half empty. Reach for it slowly. Feel the cool, smooth surface under your fingertips. Hold it in your hands. For a moment, this glass is the entire universe. It represents something that has been consumed, something from the past. It served its purpose. Now, its presence here is simply a lingering echo. As you hold it, acknowledge its service. Then, with that same slowness, carry it out of the room. Take it to the kitchen. As you place it by the sink, perform this action with a sense of completion. You are not just putting down a glass. You are consciously removing a piece of the finished day from your space of rest. You are letting go. As you walk back to your room, feel the lightness in your hands. One echo has been silenced. Let us return to the nightstand. What is next? Perhaps a book, lying face down, its spine bent. Pick it up with care. Feel its weight, the texture of its cover. This book represents a story, a world of ideas, a journey for the mind. It is a wonderful thing, but its journey is for the daytime. The night is a time for your own story to unfold in dreams. Ask yourself, does the presence of this open book invite your mind to engage, to analyze, to travel elsewhere? If so, it does not serve your rest. Take a bookmark and gently mark the page. Close the cover with a soft, final sound. Place the book neatly on its shelf or in a drawer. You are not abandoning the story. You are simply telling your mind that this particular journey is paused. Tonight, you will embark upon a different kind of journey, an inner one. Now, your eyes may fall upon a piece of mail, a bill, a reminder of the world's demands. This object may carry the heaviest energy of all. Pick it up. Do not read it. Simply feel the paper. This is a direct link to the world of obligation, of finance, of external pressures. It has no place in the sanctuary of your sleep. Its very presence is a quiet hum of anxiety. Hold it. Acknowledge its message without needing to engage with it, and make a conscious decision. This belongs to the world of doing. It belongs to the light of day. Carry this piece of paper out of the room. Place it on your desk or in a designated spot for tomorrow's attention. As you let it go, Feel the subtle release in your shoulders. You have just drawn a powerful boundary. You have declared that the demands of the world can wait until the sun rises. They are not permitted to enter the sacred hours of the night. Look now at the surface of the nightstand itself. It may be clear of objects, but it may hold a fine layer of dust, the settled sediment of days past. Take a soft cloth. Slowly, mindfully, wipe the surface. This is the heart of the sweeping monk's practice. As the cloth glides across the wood or metal, imagine you are wiping away not just dust, but the invisible residue of stress, the fingerprints of anxiety, the remnants of any troubled thoughts that have lingered in this space. Watch as the surface is transformed. It becomes clear, open, and receptive. It reflects the light with a quiet sheen. This is what you are cultivating in your mind. Clarity, openness, a space free from the clutter of the past. Take a deep breath and appreciate this small zone of perfect order you have created. You have moved your stone. Now, expand this principle to the rest of the room, but only as much as feels gentle and right for you. Perhaps there is a pile of clothes. Do not see it as a monstrous chore. See it as an invitation. Pick up one single item, a shirt. Hold it. Feel the fabric. Remember the day you wore it. Thank it for its service. Then, fold it. Pay attention to the simple geometry of the action, the folding of a sleeve, the smoothing of a crease, the creation of a neat, contained shape. Each fold is a moment of mindfulness. Place it in its drawer. You have just transformed a small piece of chaos into a small piece of order. If you have the energy for another, do so. If not, that is perfectly fine. One is infinitely more than none. The goal is the intention, not the flawless completion. Our physical space begins to breathe. The clearing is done. Now, we turn to the senses, starting with the discipline of light. Most of our rooms are illuminated by a harsh, central light, an overhead fixture that floods the space with a bright, analytical glare. This is the light of daytime, the light of work and activity. It keeps our minds alert and our bodies tense. Go to the switch, place your hand upon it, and with a clear intention to change the world you inhabit, turn it off. And in that instant, everything changes. The room is plunged into a softer reality. The sharp edges blur. The corners retreat into gentle shadow. The world is suddenly less demanding, less exposed. Feel the immediate shift in your own body. A subtle release, a signal to your nervous system that the day is truly ending. Now, in this new, gentle darkness, let us invite a different kind of light. Move to a small lamp, one with a warm-toned bulb. Switch it on and watch. Watch as a pool of soft, honeyed, amber light spreads across a small part of the room. This is not the light of interrogation. This is the light of the hearth, the light of the candle, the light of the sunset. It is an ancient light. It speaks to the oldest parts of our brain, telling us that the time for hunting and gathering is over. The time for storytelling and resting has begun. Let your eyes adjust to this gentle, forgiving illumination. This is the only light you will need from now until morning. The final act of managing light is to create your cocoon. Move to your windows. If you have curtains or blinds, gently draw them closed. This is a beautiful and symbolic act. You are drawing a veil between your private world and the public world outside. You are creating a sense of safety, of enclosure. You are no longer on display. You are hidden, protected, and free. The darkness you create is not empty. It is rich and full. It is a comforting blanket, a deep and quiet ocean in which you can finally allow yourself to float. With the light now tamed, we must address the most powerful portal of all, the glowing screen, your phone, your tablet, your laptop. It sits there, humming with a silent, magnetic energy. It promises connection, entertainment, information. But tonight, we recognize it for what it is, the primary gateway through which the chaos of the world pours into our sanctuary. Pick it up one last time. Its screen may light up, showing you notifications, messages, temptations. Look at them and see them for what they are. Hooks, designed to catch your attention and pull you back into the stream of endless doing. Hold the device in your hands, and in the quiet of your mind, or even in a soft whisper, speak to it. Say, "Thank you for your service today. Your work is done. My time for peace has now begun." This is an act of reclaiming your power. You are the master, not the machine. Now, take its charging cable, plug it in, but do not place it on your nightstand. This is crucial. Place it across the room, as far away as is practical, so that you cannot reach for it from your bed. This physical distance creates a powerful, energetic distance. Now, turn and walk away from it. Feel what it is like to put your back to the portal. There is a finality to it, a declaration of your own freedom. In the silence that follows, you may feel a strange pull. Your mind, addicted to the constant stimulation, may start to scream for its distraction. It may generate anxieties or urges to go back and check one last time. Let these feelings arise. See them, but know that you are not obligated to obey them. You have made your choice. You have chosen peace. Our sanctuary is now ordered. Our light is soft. Our connection to the digital storm has been severed. There is one final layer we can add, a beautiful offering of scent. This is optional, but it can become a profound part of your ritual. Choose a calming aroma. Perhaps it is the pure, floral scent of lavender oil, or the deep, woody, grounding scent of sandalwood or cedar. It could be a stick of fine incense, or a diffuser. Let us imagine you choose a small bottle of oil, unscrew the cap, and inhale the fragrance directly from the bottle. Let it be a premonition of the calm to come. Then, tip a single drop onto a cloth or a piece of tissue. Place it beside your pillow. As you perform this simple act, you are anointing your space. You are giving it a signature scent, an aromatic signal that this place is for rest. Over time, your brain will build a powerful association. The moment you smell this scent, your body will already begin to relax. Your mind will already begin to soften. It is the final key, turning the last lock on the door to your peaceful inner world. Now, the ritual is complete. Stand once more in the middle of your room, or perhaps sit on the edge of your bed and just be. Do not do anything. Simply notice the difference. Notice the quiet. Notice the soft light. Notice the clean surfaces. Notice the absence of digital humming. Notice the gentle fragrance in the air. This space is now ready for you. It has been cleared, consecrated, and prepared with love. It is a perfect reflection of your intention. It is an empty vessel, waiting to be filled with a deep and restorative peace. This outer temple has been prepared, and now, with our outer temple prepared and purified, we can finally turn our full attention inward. We can begin to tend to the inner temple, starting with the most profound, most immediate connection we have to life itself, the breath. We have prepared our outer temple. The space around us is now quiet, ordered, and calm, a physical reflection of the peace we wish to cultivate within. We have closed the door to the world's demands, and in this newly created stillness, we now turn our attention from the world that is seen to the world that is felt. We begin the inner work, and the gateway to this inner world. The first and most faithful guide on this journey is the breath. It is the most constant and intimate companion of our lives, an ever-present rhythm that has been with us from our very first moment until our very last. Yet, for all its constancy, it remains almost entirely unnoticed. The silent, faithful engine of our existence. Think for a moment. When was the last time you truly felt the simple, profound miracle of your own breathing? When did you last pay attention to the gentle rise and fall of your own chest, the cool air entering your nostrils, the warm air leaving? In our frantic rush through life, we have forgotten our oldest friend. The Zen path invites us to reacquaint ourselves with this friend, to discover that this simple, automatic process holds the key not just to life, but to the mastery of the mind. The breath is the bridge. It is the sacred link between the body and the mind, between the conscious and the unconscious, and most importantly, between the turbulent past and the anxious future, connecting them to the only point of true power we ever possess, the present moment. The human mind, in its untrained state, is a masterful time traveler. We call it the monkey mind, for it swings restlessly from branch to branch, never staying still. But if we look closer, we see it only ever travels to two destinations. The first is the past. It swings back to conversations we wish we could redo, to mistakes that make us cringe, to wounds that have never quite healed, to moments of lost happiness that we cling to with a sorrowful grip. It replays these scenes endlessly, analyzing, regretting, judging. The second destination is the future. It swings forward into a landscape of anxieties, of what-ifs, of elaborate plans, and catastrophic fears. It rehearses arguments that may never happen, worries about challenges that may never materialize, and strives for goals that keep it in a constant state of tension and striving. This ceaseless swinging, this relentless time travel, is the very source of our exhaustion. We are never truly where we are. Our bodies are here, in our beds, but our minds are lost in the phantom worlds of yesterday and tomorrow. And here lies the simple, breathtaking genius of using the breath as our focus. The breath, unlike our thoughts, cannot time travel. It is radically, uncompromisingly, and perfectly present. You cannot take yesterday's breath. It is gone forever. You cannot take a breath that belongs to tomorrow. It has not yet arrived. You can only take this breath, the one that is happening right now. It is a physical, tangible, undeniable anchor in the present moment. Imagine your mind is a small boat, tossed about on a stormy sea. The waves of the past crash over the side, filled with regret. The winds of the future blow with hurricane force, filled with anxiety. The little boat is thrown about, helpless, with no control over the vast, violent ocean of time. To try and stop the waves, to calm the wind, is an impossible, exhausting task. But we don't have to stop the storm. We only need to drop an anchor. The breath is that anchor. When we place our full attention on the simple, physical sensation of this one inhalation and this one exhalation, we have dropped the anchor. The storm may still rage around us. Thoughts of the past and future may still howl, but our boat is no longer lost and adrift. It is held fast. It is secure in the harbor of the here and now. With each conscious breath, we say to our minds, I know you want to swing, but for this moment, we are staying right here. We are safe. We are home. This connection is not just a beautiful metaphor. It is a profound biological reality. The breath is the primary language of your nervous system. It is the main channel through which your mind and body communicate their state to one another. When your mind perceives a threat, a real physical danger, or an imagined social anxiety, it sends an immediate signal to the body: prepare for battle. The body responds instantly by activating the sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight response. Your heart rate increases, your muscles tense, and your breath becomes rapid, shallow, and constrained to the upper chest. This is the breath of anxiety. It is efficient for a short burst of survival, but when we live in this state for hours on end, it becomes a chronic, draining poison. But here is the secret that ancient wisdom has always known, and modern science is now confirming. This is not a one-way street. While the mind can change the breath can also change the mind. By consciously and deliberately altering our breathing pattern, we can send a new message back to the brain. When we intentionally slow our breathing down, when we allow it to become deep, rhythmic, and centered in the belly, a practice known as diaphragmatic breathing, we are sending a powerful signal up the vagus nerve directly to our brainstem. The signal says, the threat is over. You can stand down. We are safe. This action manually activates the parasympathetic nervous system, our rest and digest and tend and befriend system. The results are immediate and profound. The heart rate slows, the blood pressure drops, the muscles begin to release their chronic tension. The mind, receiving this undeniable physical evidence of safety, begins to exit its state of high alert. It is like finding a manual override switch for the anxiety alarm that has been ringing all day. The breath is that switch. It is the remote control for your own biology, allowing you to guide your body out of a state of stress and into a state of deep, restorative calm. This practice of mindful breathing is one of the oldest and most central teachings of the Buddha. It is called anapanasati, which simply means mindfulness of breathing. At its heart is a very subtle, yet critical distinction. The ultimate goal is not necessarily to control the breath, but to simply be aware of it. It is the quality of our attention that works the magic. In the beginning, we use conscious control, like slowing the breath, to calm the body. But the deeper practice is one of pure, non-judgmental observation. To watch the breath as it is, without trying to fix or change it. Is your breath shallow and quick right now? The instruction is not to immediately force it to be deep. The instruction is to simply notice, with a kind and curious attention, right now, the breath is shallow. Interesting. Is it deep and slow? The breath is deep. We become a scientist of our own inner world, observing the data without interfering with it. It is in this act of pure, accepting observation that the mind begins to untangle itself. By refusing to judge or struggle with our present state, we rob it of its power over us. The breath becomes a mirror. By watching it without judgment, we learn to watch our thoughts and feelings without judgment. And in that space of acceptance, calm naturally arises. There is a story of a man who found himself lost in a vast, dark forest as night began to fall. Panic seized him. His heart hammered in his chest. His breath came in ragged gasps. He ran, blindly, crashing through undergrowth, getting more and more lost with every frantic step. Briars tore at his clothes. Fear tore at his mind. Finally, utterly exhausted, he collapsed at the base of a great tree. He knew that to run any more would be useless. He had nothing left. In that moment of complete surrender, he decided to focus on the only thing he had any control over, the one thing that was still his, the simple act of breathing. He closed his eyes and just felt the air moving in and out of his body. He didn't try to solve his problem. He didn't try to make a plan. He just focused entirely on the feeling of this breath, and the next, and the next. As he did this, a strange thing happened. The hammering of his heart began to slow. The terror in his mind began to recede. The forest no longer seemed like a monster. but just a collection of trees. And as the inner storm of his panic quieted, he began to hear something he couldn't hear before, a faint, distant sound, the gentle murmur of moving water, a stream. He opened his eyes, and with a newfound calm, he walked toward the sound and found the stream that led him out of the forest. The breath did not magically show him the way. It calmed his mind so that he could hear the wisdom that was already there. Our own inner wisdom is that stream, and it can only be heard when we use the anchor of the breath to quiet the panic of the mind. This is the philosophy of the breath. It is our anchor to the only moment that exists. It is the language that speaks directly to our nervous system, capable of transforming fear into safety. And it is the ultimate teacher of non-judgmental awareness. It is a tool that is always with us, costs nothing, and is available in every single moment. It is the foundation upon which a calm and resilient mind is built. We have now explored the profound theory, the why behind this foundational practice. We have seen that our breath is a key, a map, and an anchor. It is time to move from the map to the territory itself. In our next step, I will guide you, moment by moment, through the direct experience of this practice, as we learn to ride the waves of the breath into the shores of deep and lasting calm. The words are behind us now. The theories and philosophies have served their purpose. They have brought us to this very moment, to the threshold of direct experience. There is nothing left to understand with the intellect. There is only the truth of this moment, waiting to be felt. I invite you now, in the quiet sanctuary you have prepared, to put the map aside and to begin the journey into the territory of your own inner world. There is nothing to achieve here, no goal to strive for. There is only the simple, profound act of being, of returning home to yourself. Begin by finding your posture of rest. Allow your body to settle onto your bed. Perhaps you are lying on your back, your arms resting gently by your sides, palms facing up in a gesture of receptivity. Or perhaps you're on your side, nestled into your pillows. It does not matter. What matters is that you feel supported, comfortable, and at ease. Take a moment to make any small adjustments that your body asks for. A slight shift of the hips, a repositioning of your head on the pillow, a relaxing of your shoulders away from your ears. Give your body this gift of attention. Feel the points of contact between your body and the surface beneath you. Feel the weight of your head on the pillow, the gentle pressure along your shoulders and back, the heaviness of your legs, and the grounding of your heels. Acknowledge the unwavering support of the bed beneath you. It is holding you completely. You do not need to hold yourself up. For these next few moments, you can surrender the work of holding and simply allow yourself to be held. Let go. Let us begin with a gentle scan, releasing the lingering tensions of the day. Bring your awareness to your jaw. Without judgment, simply notice if there is any tightness here, any clenching. And on your next exhale, consciously invite the muscles in your jaw to soften, to let go. Allow your teeth to part slightly. Now, bring your awareness to the small muscles around your eyes and to your forehead. Invite them to smooth out, to release any furrows of worry. Let this softness spread down to your neck and your shoulders. On an exhale, allow your shoulders to feel heavy, to melt down and away from your ears, releasing the burdens they have carried all day. Finally, bring your awareness to your hands. Are they clenched into fists? Gently, slowly, allow your fingers to unfurl. Let your hands rest open, soft and relaxed. Your body is now prepared. It has arrived in this moment. And now, we turn to the breath. Do not try to change it. Do not try to control it. in any way. Simply let your attention become a soft, gentle spotlight and shine that light on the place in your body where you feel the breath most distinctly. For some, this is at the entrance to the nostrils. You might feel the subtle coolness of the air as you inhale, and the gentle, corresponding warmth of the air as you exhale. It is a very fine, very delicate sensation. If this is where you feel the breath, allow your attention to rest there, like a feather floating on the air current of your breathing, just noticing the coolness of the in-breath and the warmth of the out-breath. For others, the sensation is felt more strongly in the body. Perhaps you feel it in the rise and fall of your chest, or, even more deeply, in the gentle expansion and contraction of your belly. If you choose this spot, you can, if you wish, place a hand gently on your lower abdomen. This is your anchor point. As you inhale, feel your belly rise gently, softly pressing into your hand. And as you exhale, feel your belly fall, a quiet release. There is no effort needed. The body knows how to do this perfectly. Your only task is to rest your attention here, feeling the gentle rhythm, like the quiet tide of an ancient ocean, the slow rise of the inhale, and the complete release of the exhale. Choose your anchor point now, the nostrils or the belly, and for a few moments, let us simply rest here together, in silence, with our attention placed gently on this living rhythm. There is nowhere else to be. There is nothing else to do. Simply this breath. And now, this one. And now, this one. The mind may be busy, and that is all right. Just keep a small part of your awareness dedicated to feeling this simple, physical sensation. Inhale and exhale. You are breathing. You are alive. And in this moment, all is well. Now that we have made contact with the natural breath, let us begin to gently shape it, to use it as a tool to guide the body into an even deeper state of calm. We will use a simple, soothing rhythm. We will breathe in for a count of 4, and we will breathe out for a longer count of 6. The extended exhale is a powerful signal to the nervous system, a direct message that says, it is safe to relax. Do not strain. Let the count be easy and natural. Let us begin together. Gently exhale all the air from your lungs. And now, a slow, quiet inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. And a long, slow exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Beautiful. Let's continue. Inhaling. 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhaling. Letting go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As you inhale, feel your belly expanding, your lungs filling with fresh, calm energy. Inhaling. 1, 2, 3, 4. And as you exhale, feel a wave of relaxation spreading through your entire body. Exhaling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. With every long exhale, you are giving your body explicit permission to let go just a little bit more. You are releasing what you no longer need to carry from the day. Let's do that again. A quiet inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. And a complete, releasing exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Feel the heaviness in your limbs. A pleasant, warm, settled feeling. Your body is responding to your gentle guidance. It is remembering its natural state of peace. At some point in this process, something inevitable will happen. Your mind will wander. You will be following the breath, and then suddenly you will find yourself thinking about something you need to do tomorrow, or replaying a conversation from yesterday, or simply lost in a random train of thought. This is the moment where most people become frustrated. This is the moment where most people believe they have failed at meditation. I want you to know, with absolute certainty, that this is not a failure. It is not a mistake. It is simply what minds do. The wandering of the mind is a natural part of this practice. It is not an obstacle to the practice. It is the practice. So, when you notice that your mind has wandered and you will, again and again, the instruction is to follow 3 gentle steps. First, simply acknowledge where you have been, silently, in your mind. You can just say, thinking, or worrying, or planning. You label it, gently, without any judgment at all. Second, offer yourself a moment of quiet congratulations. You woke up, you noticed you were lost, and now you are found. This moment of noticing is a moment of mindfulness itself, and it is precious. And third, with the same gentleness you would use to guide a lost child by the hand, gently and lovingly escort your attention right back to your anchor point, back to the feeling of the breath, back to the counting. You do not need to be angry or forceful. Imagine you are training a small beloved puppy to sit. The puppy will wander off 100 times. You do not scold the puppy. You just smile and patiently, kindly lead it back to its spot, over and over and over again. This patient, kind, repeated, returning, this is the very heart of meditation. This is how we build the muscle of mindfulness. So let us continue our rhythm, and now we will practice this gentle returning back to the breath. A soft inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a long, slow exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perhaps your mind is quiet. Perhaps it is busy. It does not matter. Your only task is to ride the waves of your own breath, inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, exhaling, softening 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you get lost in thought, the moment you notice, you are already back. Gently return your focus. The breath is always here, waiting for you. It never gets frustrated. It is the most patient teacher. It is your anchor in the endless ocean of the mind. Let's rest with it for a few more cycles. Inhale, exhale. Now, in these final moments of our practice, you can let go of the counting. Let go of any technique. Let go of any effort to control or guide the breath at all. Allow your breath to return to its own natural, easy rhythm. You do not need to manage it anymore. Simply rest. Rest as the witness. Feel the body breathing on its own. Feel the state of calm that you have so carefully and lovingly cultivated. Feel the quietness in your limbs, the softness in your belly, the stillness in your mind. This peace is not something that has been given to you from the outside. It is something you have uncovered within yourself. It was here all along. You have simply cleared the way for it to be felt. Rest in this feeling. Bathe in this inner quiet. This is your true nature. As your body rests in this quiet rhythm, you may become more aware of the silent traffic of the mind, the thoughts that continue to drift by like clouds in the sky. They may be less forceful now, less demanding. Our next step is to learn how to relate to this inner traffic with the same gentleness and wisdom we have just applied to the breath, allowing them to come and go without disturbing the deep peace we have found. We have found a momentary stillness, a quiet harbor, by anchoring ourselves to the gentle rhythm of the breath. In this newfound quiet, we begin to perceive something else, a subtle, persistent and endless procession. The silent traffic of the mind. A memory surfaces, unbidden. A snippet of a song plays on a loop. A worry about tomorrow quietly announces its presence. An old judgment about ourselves whispers from the shadows. This is the stream of consciousness, the unseen architect of our entire emotional world. We so often believe that our moods, our joys, and our sorrows are caused by external events. But this is only a partial truth. The full truth is that our experience of life is not shaped by events themselves, but by the thoughts we have about those events. Our thoughts are the invisible lenses through which we view all of reality, coloring every perception, dictating every reaction, and building, piece by piece, the very story of who we believe we are. But what, truly, is a thought? And more importantly, who is the one who is aware of that thought? This question is the gateway to a profound and liberating truth. In the Zen tradition, the untrained mind is often called the monkey mind. This is a wonderfully apt description. Picture a restless monkey in a vast jungle, swinging wildly from one branch to the next. It grabs a fruit here, screeches at a shadow there, becomes distracted by a passing insect, and then swings to another branch to repeat the cycle. It never stays still. It is impulsive, reactive, and lives in a state of constant, low-grade agitation. This is a perfect portrait of our own minds. A thought about work triggers a feeling of anxiety, which then reminds us of a past failure, which then makes us worry about a future project, which then gets interrupted by the thought that we are hungry. There is no peace, no center, just an endless, frantic swinging from the past to the future, from desire to aversion. For most of our lives, we make a fundamental error, a case of mistaken identity that is the root of almost all our suffering. We believe that we are the monkey. We believe that its frantic, chaotic energy is our own. We identify with its every swing and screech. When an anxious thought appears, we do not simply observe it, we become it. The thought, "I might fail," transforms instantly into the deeply held belief, "I am a failure." When an angry thought arises, we do not see it as a passing burst of energy. We fuse with it and declare, "I am an angry person." We become completely entangled with the content of our minds. We are like a person watching a movie in a dark theater who becomes so engrossed that they forget they are the audience and believe they are the character on the screen, feeling every blow, every loss, every moment of terror as if it were their own. This fusion, this entanglement, is a prison. When we are fused with our thoughts, we are at their mercy, tossed about by every passing mental event. But what if this is all a misunderstanding? What if you are not the monkey, but the jungle in which the monkey swings? What if you are not the character on the screen, but the silent, watching presence of the audience? This is the great secret, the liberating insight that sits at the heart of this practice. You are not your thoughts. You are the awareness in which your thoughts arise. Let us explore this with a different metaphor, perhaps the most powerful one for this teaching. Imagine that your mind is a vast open sky. It is limitless, spacious, and inherently peaceful. Your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, these are the weather. They are the clouds that drift through the sky. Some days, the clouds are white, fluffy, and pleasant. These are your happy thoughts, your moments of joy and contentment. They drift by, and the sky is beautiful. On other days, dark, heavy storm clouds gather. These are your thoughts of anger, sadness, grief, or fear. The sky grows dark. The wind howls, the rain pours, lightning flashes. From the ground, it might look like the entire sky is the storm. It seems all-encompassing, violent, and permanent. But is the sky itself ever truly harmed by the storm? Does the lightning scar it? Does the rain stain it? Does the wind tear it? The storm is simply a temporary event, passing through the vast, unchanging space of the sky. The sky allows the storm to be there. It holds the storm within its embrace, but it does not become the storm. Its fundamental nature remains open, clear, and peaceful. Behind the darkest cloud, the blue sky is still there, untouched, waiting. This is who you truly are. You are the sky. Your thoughts of anxiety are just dark clouds. They can be intense, they can be terrifying, but they are not you. They are temporary weather patterns passing through the vastness of your awareness. The deep sadness you feel is a heavy rain cloud. It is real, it deserves to be felt, but it is not the entirety of who you are. It is a cloud, and you are the sky that holds it with compassionate space. This shift in identity is the most radical and empowering gift you can give yourself. To cease identifying with the fleeting weather of your mind, and to begin identifying with the vast, stable, ever-present sky of your own awareness. To know that your core being, your true self, is already whole, peaceful, and free, regardless of what clouds are passing through at any given moment. There is a famous Zen story that illustrates this principle perfectly. Two monks were traveling together on a pilgrimage that had taken them many miles. They came to a river that was swollen from recent rains, the current fast and dangerous. On the bank stood a young, beautifully dressed woman who was afraid to cross. The two monks had taken strict vows, one of which was to never touch a woman. They were to maintain a pure and disciplined distance. The younger of the two monks stood back, unsure of what to do, his mind already beginning to spin with the conflict between his vow and the woman's clear distress. The older monk, however, simply walked up to the woman. He smiled, and without a word, he lifted her into his arms, waded carefully through the powerful current, and set her down gently on the other side. She thanked him profusely, and he simply bowed and continued on his way. The younger monk, after splashing his own way across the river, hurried to catch up. He was aghast. His mind was a raging storm. He could not believe what he had just seen. His senior, a man he respected, had flagrantly broken a sacred vow. For the next several hours, the two monks walked in silence. But for the younger monk, it was not silent at all. His mind was screaming. He replayed the scene over and over. He judged his companion. He imagined what their master would say. He felt righteous indignation, confusion, and disappointment. He was carrying the event with him like a heavy sack of stones. Finally, as evening approached, he could bear it no longer. He burst out, "Brother, how could you do that? You know we have taken a vow never to touch a woman. How could you so easily break your precepts by carrying her across that river?" The older monk looked at his companion, his expression one of deep peace and compassion. He replied softly, "Brother, I left that woman by the riverbank hours ago. Why are you still carrying her?" This story perfectly illuminates our own predicament. We are all the younger monk. An event happened, sir. Difficult conversation, a mistake at work, an unkind word from a stranger. The event itself is over in minutes. It is finished, left on the riverbank of the past. But we pick up the thought of the event. We pick up the judgment, the anger, the worry, the shame, and we carry it. We carry it for hours, for days, for years. We allow these thoughts, these mental ghosts of past events, to weigh us down and poison our present moment. The first monk experienced the event and let it go. He was the sky. The second monk became fused with his thoughts about the event. He was the storm cloud. The great freedom comes from realizing you have a choice. You do not have to carry the woman. You do not have to become the storm cloud. This is not a practice of stopping your thoughts. That is as impossible as trying to stop the weather. It is a practice of changing your relationship to your thoughts. It is the practice of learning to let them be, to let them pass, without grabbing onto them, without identifying with them, and without being swept away by them. It is the art of becoming the sky. We have now explored the profound philosophy of disidentification, the understanding that we are the space in which thoughts occur. Now, let us learn the practical art of becoming the sky. In our next step, I will guide you through the direct practice of observing your thoughts, allowing them to arise and pass without being swept away by them. We have explored the profound, liberating truth that you are not the fleeting weather of your mind, but the vast, open sky that holds it. We have understood, with the intellect, that we do not have to be the frantic monkey, swinging from branch to branch. Now, we will move from this intellectual knowing into the quiet courage of direct experience. We will learn the gentle art of becoming the sky. This practice is an invitation to sit peacefully with your own mind, perhaps for the first time, not as an enemy to be conquered, nor as a problem to be solved, but as a natural phenomenon to be observed with curiosity, kindness, and a spacious heart. Let us begin by returning to our foundation, to our home base. Settle once more into your comfortable position of rest. Feel the weight of your body being held, completely supported, and bring your awareness back to your anchor, back to the simple, faithful rhythm of your breath. Take a few moments here, just to re-establish this connection. Feel the gentle rise of the inhale and the complete release of the exhale. The breath is your safe harbor. It is the one place you can always return to when the seas of the mind become stormy. Our intention here is not to force the mind to be empty or silent. That is an act of struggle, and we are here to learn the art of surrender. Our intention is simply to sit peacefully and to watch the natural flow of our inner world without being carried away by it. Now, I invite you to create a scene in your mind's eye, a gentle visualization. Imagine that you are sitting on the soft, mossy bank of a slowly flowing river. Take a moment to truly build this place. It is a beautiful day. The sunlight is warm on your skin. You can see how the light dapples through the leaves of the great, wise trees that line the riverbank, creating shifting patterns of light and shadow on the ground. You can hear the gentle, murmuring sound of the water as it glides past you. It is a soothing, constant sound. You can feel the solid, stable earth beneath you, supporting you completely. You are safe here. You are at peace. Look at the river itself. The water is clear, and you can see the smooth, colorful stones that lie on the riverbed. This river is the river of your own mind, the endless stream of consciousness. And your task for this practice is very simple. Your task is to remain sitting peacefully on this bank. You are the observer. You are not the river. As you sit here, you will notice things beginning to float down the river. These are your thoughts. Each thought, each memory, each image, each worry, each fragment of a song that arises in your mind can be imagined as a leaf floating on the surface of the water. Your practice is simply to watch these leaves. You do not have to do anything about them. You do not have to change them, or judge them, or fish them out of the water. You simply notice them as they emerge from upstream. Watch them as they float past you, and continue to watch as they drift away downstream, eventually disappearing from sight. Let us sit here together for a moment and watch what appears. Perhaps the first leaf that floats by carries a memory from your day. You see it clearly. A conversation you had, a task you completed. Place that memory gently on its leaf. See the leaf appearing in your field of vision, and then watch as the current takes it, and it drifts away. And then you return your gaze to the open space of the river, waiting to see what comes next. Perhaps the next leaf is a thought about the future, a worry about a meeting tomorrow, a plan for the weekend. See this planning thought, this worrying thought, and place it on its own leaf. You do not need to engage with the plan or solve the worry. You simply acknowledge its presence. Ah, a planning leaf. And then you watch it float by, held by the gentle current, moving past you and away. You remain on the bank. You are the still, watching presence. A sound in the room might catch your attention. The hum of a machine, a distant siren. This too is a thought, a sensory thought. Place the sound on a leaf and watch it float down the river of your mind. A feeling might arise in your body, an itch, a warmth, a slight ache. Place that sensation on a leaf and let it float by. A judgment might arise. Am I doing this right? My mind is too busy. This too is just another thought, a very common and interesting thought. Place this judging thought on its own leaf, and with a sense of gentle amusement, watch it float by, just like all the others. The river carries everything impartially. If it feels helpful to you, you can practice a gentle form of mental labeling. As a leaf appears, you can give it a soft, one-word name. This is not for analysis, but simply to help you maintain your position as the observer. As a memory floats by, you can whisper in your mind, remembering. As a worry appears, worrying. As a to-do list item floats past, planning. As the thought about the practice itself appears, thinking. The label is like gently touching the leaf with a long reed from the riverbank. It acknowledges its existence without requiring you to jump into the water. Label it and let it go. And always, you return to your primary role, sitting on the bank, watching the river flow. Now, it is important to acknowledge that not all thoughts are like small, light leaves. Some thoughts are heavier. They are like big, waterlogged branches or heavy stones that sink to the bottom and get stuck. These are our sticky thoughts, our deep-seated worries, our recurring anxieties, our painful memories, our strong emotional triggers. You may notice that you are watching the river, and then suddenly, without realizing it, you are no longer on the bank. One of these heavy thoughts has snagged your attention, and it has pulled you into the water. You find you are no longer observing the thought. You are in the thought, churning in the current, caught in the story, feeling the full emotional weight of it. The moment you notice this has happened, the moment you realize, I am wet, I am in the river, this is a moment of victory. It is a golden moment of mindfulness. In that instant of recognition, you are already back on the bank. So, what do you do when you find you've been pulled in? First, there is no need for frustration or self-criticism. This is perfectly normal. It will happen again and again. It is how the mind works. So, the first step is to offer yourself some kindness. I was carried away for a moment. That's okay. The second step is to use your anchor. If a thought is particularly strong, painful, or sticky, release your attention from the river visualization altogether. Let the river fade from your mind and bring your full, undivided, compassionate attention right back to the physical sensation of your breath. Return to your safe harbor. Feel the rise of the inhale and the fall of the exhale. Stay with this simple, solid, physical reality for 5, 10, or as many breaths as you need. until you feel your footing on the solid ground once more. The breath is your tool for climbing back onto the riverbank. When you feel settled again, you can gently return to the visualization of the river and resume your patient watch. This is the rhythm of the practice. Watching the river, noticing you are in the water, and gently, kindly, using the breath to guide yourself back to the bank. Let us rest here for a few more moments, just sitting, just watching, noticing each thought leaf as it arises, acknowledging its presence, and letting the natural current of the mind carry it away. You are the silent, spacious, unmoving witness. You are the sky, allowing the clouds to pass. You are the deep ocean, unstirred by the waves on the surface. You are the quiet awareness that is older and deeper than any single thought. Rest in this awareness. It is your true home. Now, as our practice comes to a close, gently allow the image of the river to dissolve. Let the sounds and the sunlight of your imagined scene fade away. Bring your awareness back more fully to the physical reality of your body. Resting here in your bed, feel the contact points, the weight of your blankets, the temperature of the air on your skin, and return your full attention, once more, to the simple, natural rhythm of your breathing, which has been your faithful anchor throughout this entire inner journey. Notice the quality of your mind now. You have not silenced it, but perhaps you have created some space within it. Perhaps the traffic is a little quieter, a little slower. Perhaps there is a new sense of distance between you, the observer, and the thoughts that are being observed. This spaciousness, this newfound peace, is a gift. It is a state of quiet abundance. And it is from this place of inner stillness that we can most authentically begin to practice our next habit, the art of recognizing and appreciating the good that already exists in our lives. We have sat by the river of the mind, and in the quiet spaciousness that follows such a practice, a new question arises. We have learned to create a space between ourselves and the endless stream of our thoughts. Now, what shall we choose to cultivate in this newfound inner ground? If we leave this inner garden untended, the old weeds of worry and dissatisfaction will inevitably grow back, for that is the mind's default nature. Our next habit, then, is an act of conscious and deliberate cultivation. It is the practice of planting and watering the most beautiful flowers in the garden of the mind. This is the practice of gratitude. To understand the profound power of gratitude, we must first understand the default architecture of the mind we have inherited. The human mind, for all its brilliance, is not designed for happiness. It is designed for survival. For hundreds of thousands of years, our ancestors lived in a world filled with genuine, life-threatening dangers. The rustle in the grass could be a predator. A strange-smelling fruit could be poison. Being ostracized from the tribe meant certain death. In that environment, the individuals who survived and passed on their genes were the ones whose brains were exceptionally good at noticing, remembering, and worrying about threats. They developed what psychologists today call a negativity bias. Their brains were like Velcro for bad experiences and Teflon for good ones. A single dangerous encounter was burned into their memory forever, while 100 beautiful sunsets were pleasant but ultimately forgettable from a survival standpoint. This ancient threat detection operating system is still running in our heads today. The problem is, we no longer live in that same world. The predators we now face are a critical email from our boss, a passive-aggressive comment from a family member, or the stress of being stuck in traffic. Yet our brain reacts with the same ancient alarm, the same outsized sense of threat and negativity. It scans our day and magnifies the one thing that went wrong, while almost completely ignoring the 99 things that went right. The car started. The water was hot for our shower. A stranger held a door open for us. We had food to eat. The sun rose. Our hearts continued to beat without any conscious effort from us. These are minor miracles, a constant cascade of grace that upholds our very existence. Yet, the mind, with its negativity bias, glosses over all of it, choosing instead to ruminate on the one difficult conversation, the one moment of frustration. This is why, for so many of us, a baseline of quiet dissatisfaction hums beneath the surface of our lives. It is a feeling that something is always slightly wrong, that we are always lacking something, that true contentment is just around the corner, if only we could fix this one problem or achieve that one goal. This is the state of the hungry ghost, a concept from Buddhist cosmology describing a being with a tiny throat and a massive stomach who can never, ever get enough to feel full. It is constantly craving, constantly seeking, constantly feeling the ache of its own emptiness. This is the natural state of the untrained mind. The practice of gratitude, then, is a conscious and gentle rebellion against this default programming. It is not a passive feeling that we wait for, like a sunny day. It is an active skill that we cultivate. It is the spiritual equivalent of weight training for the mind. If our attention is a spotlight, and our natural bias is to shine that light only on the dark, broken, and missing parts of our lives, then gratitude is the act of deliberately taking hold of that spotlight and consciously swiveling it around. It is the choice to shine its beam, even for just a few moments, onto that which is whole, that which is good, that which is already present. It is crucial to understand what gratitude is not. It is not a form of toxic positivity. It is not about pretending that pain, suffering, and injustice do not exist. It is not about putting on a fake smile when you are feeling heartbroken or overwhelmed. That would be an act of self-deception, a denial of reality. True gratitude is far more robust and courageous than that. It is the capacity to hold the paradox of life in an open hand. It is the ability to say, yes, this part of my life is filled with pain and difficulty, and I can still be grateful for the steadfast love of my friend. It is the wisdom to acknowledge, yes, I am deeply anxious about the state of the world, and I am simultaneously grateful for the simple, profound beauty of the tree outside my window. Gratitude does not erase the darkness, but it ensures that we do not forget the light. It allows the goodness that coexists with our struggles to come forward and be recognized. Without this conscious practice, the negativity bias acts like a total eclipse, allowing the shadow of our problems to block out everything else. Gratitude is the act of stepping to the side, allowing the light that was always there to stream in again, reminding us that the picture is always larger and more complex than our worried mind would have us believe. It is a shift from a mindset of scarcity, focusing on what is missing, to a mindset of abundance, recognizing the immense richness that is already here. There is a beautiful Sufi story that speaks to this truth. An old beggar sat by the side of the road every day. When people gave him money or food, he was filled with thanks. But even on days when no one gave him anything, he would sit peacefully, holding his empty wooden bowl, and give thanks for the bowl itself, for the air he was breathing, for the warmth of the sun on his face, and for the simple fact of his own existence. A rich king, passing by in his carriage, saw the beggar and was filled with a mixture of pity and annoyance. He decided he would solve this man's problem and bring him true happiness. He ordered his treasurer to fill the beggar's bowl to the brim with gold coins. The king expected to see ecstatic joy on the beggar's face. Instead, he saw a look of profound sadness. Confused, the king asked, "Old man, I have given you more wealth than you could have dreamed of, Why do you look so sorrowful?" The beggar looked down at the gleaming gold in his bowl, and then back up at the king. "For years," he said softly, "my happiness depended on nothing that could be taken from me. I was grateful for my empty bowl, which was always full of the grace of the present moment. Now, you have given me a bowl full of gold, and my mind is already filled with the fear of losing it. You have taken my true wealthy sense of sufficiency and replaced it with a treasure that has only made me poor in spirit." This parable is a powerful lesson in the Zen art of sufficiency. It teaches us that true abundance is not found in getting more, but in needing less. Gratitude is the practice of discovering the profound wealth that already exists in our empty bowl, the simple, unadorned facts of our life. The fact that we have a body that breathes for us, a heart that beats for us, the fact that we can see color, hear music, taste food, the fact that we have a bed to sleep in, a roof over our head. These are not small things. They are the foundational pillars of our entire existence, yet our minds, in their endless search for more, dismiss them as unimportant. Gratitude is the alchemy that transforms these common, leaden facts of life into the shining gold of felt experience. It re-enchants the world. To practice gratitude before sleep is a particularly potent medicine. It is a way of consciously choosing the final emotional flavor of your day. Instead of allowing your mind to marinate in the day's frustrations and worries as you drift off, you deliberately steep it in the recognition of goodness. This changes the entire trajectory of your inner world as you enter the vulnerable states of sleep and dreaming. It is an act of deep kindness to yourself, a way of whispering to your own soul, "Despite the challenges, we were held, we were supported, there was goodness here." It is a way to fall asleep with a heart that is not aching with lack, but humming with the quiet fullness of a life that is, in this very moment, enough. We have now understood the profound why behind this gentle practice, its power to rewire our very perception of reality. Now, let us move from this understanding into the direct, heartfelt experience. In our next step, I will guide you in a simple ritual to uncover the hidden gems of goodness within your own day, and to fall asleep with a heart that is not empty, but full. We have explored the profound truth that gratitude is not a passive emotion, but an active practice, a conscious rebellion against the mind's inherited tendency to focus on what is wrong, what is broken, and what is missing. It is the art of taking control of the spotlight of our attention and shining it with intention upon the good that already exists, however small or overlooked it may be. Now, let us move from the why to the how. Let us engage in a simple, yet deeply transformative ritual to uncover the hidden treasures of the day that has just passed. This is not a test, nor a search for grand moments of triumph. It is a quiet, gentle excavation of the ordinary good. Begin by settling once more into your posture of rest. Allow your body to feel heavy, supported, and safe. Let your hands rest open at your sides, palms facing upward, a physical gesture of receptivity. This posture is an invitation. It signals to your mind and body that you are ready to receive, ready to acknowledge, ready to be filled. Our intention for this practice is simple: to find 3 things from your day, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, for which you can feel a genuine sense of gratitude. There is no pressure to feel an overwhelming wave of emotion. A quiet, simple nod of thanks in your heart is more than enough. Be patient with yourself. We are detectives of the good, and we will conduct our search with kindness. Let us begin by unspooling the thread of your day. In your mind's eye, travel back to the moment you first woke up this morning. Imagine the entire day, from that first moment of consciousness until this very moment, right now, as a long, continuous film. We are going to watch this film together, but we will watch it with a specific purpose. We are not watching to critique our performance, to judge our actions, or to relive our mistakes. We are watching with the soft focus of a loving friend, scanning the scenes for moments of ease, of connection, of simple, sensory pleasure. Let the film of your morning begin to play. The first few hours, waking up, the feeling of the blankets, the first light entering the room. Was there a moment of quiet peace before the day's demands began? Perhaps. Think of your morning routine. Was the water in your shower warm and comforting? Did you enjoy the taste of your first cup of coffee or tea? Perhaps a pet greeted you with simple, uncomplicated affection. Perhaps you heard a bird singing outside your window. Let the scenes drift by and just remain open, looking for a flicker of goodness. Now, let the film continue to the middle part of your day, the hours of work, or chores, or daily activities. This part may have been filled with challenges. That is okay. We are not denying the challenges. We are simply looking for the light that existed alongside them. Did a colleague offer a helpful suggestion? Did you have a brief, pleasant exchange with a cashier at a store? Did you solve a small problem that brought a flicker of satisfaction? Did you take a moment to stretch and feel a sense of release in your body? Did you eat a meal that nourished you? Look for the small interactions, the moments of competence, the simple pleasures that are so often buried beneath the weight of our larger struggles. Continue to let the film roll into the afternoon and evening. The light begins to change. The energy of the day begins to shift. Was there a moment when you looked out a window and noticed the color of the sky? Did you listen to a piece of music that moved you? Did a friend send you a message that made you smile? Perhaps you accomplished a task you had been putting off and felt a quiet sense of relief. Think of the journey home, the feeling of walking through your own front door, the simple act of taking off your shoes, the transition from the outer world to your inner sanctuary. Now, from this gentle review of your entire day, let us allow one thing to surface, the first of our 3 good things. Do not force it. Just let an image, a memory, a feeling present itself. It may be profoundly simple. Let us say, for a moment, that what comes to mind is the taste of your morning coffee. Now, our practice truly begins. Do not just think the words, "my morning coffee." Let us use our senses to travel back to that exact moment. In your mind's eye, see the cup. What color is it? How did it feel? In your hands, can you remember the feeling of its warmth spreading into your palms? Can you remember the aroma that rose from the steam? Inhale, and imagine you can smell that rich, comforting scent right now. And now, remember the taste, the first sip, the warmth spreading through your body, the gentle wave of alertness and comfort it provided. For that 1 minute, in the midst of your morning, this simple pleasure was a reality. It was a moment of goodness. As you relive it with your senses, notice where you feel the echo of that goodness in your body right now. Is it a subtle warmth in your chest, a softening in your belly, a faint, unconscious smile on your lips? Find the physical trace of this simple, good thing, and as you feel it, offer a quiet, sincere whisper of thanks in your heart. Thank you for this simple, warm, nourishing moment. Let the feeling of that gratitude settle within you. That is the first gem. Now, let us return to the gentle stream of our day's memories. Let a second good thing emerge. It might be something different. Perhaps it involves another person, a brief phone call with a loved one, a moment when your child or your partner made you laugh, A moment when a coworker showed you kindness or understanding. Let one such moment come into focus. Do not just remember that it happened. Re-enter the scene. See the person's face. See their smile. Hear the sound of their voice or their laughter. Remember the words that were exchanged. And most importantly, try to reconnect with the feeling that moment gave you. A feeling of connection, of being seen, of shared joy, of being supported. Let that feeling, the emotional resonance of that interaction, fill you for a moment. Locate it in your body. Perhaps it feels like an opening in your heart, a sense of lightness. This connection with another soul was a gift in your day. It was real. Let the warmth of that memory permeate your being, and as it does, offer your silent thanks. Thank you for this moment of connection. Thank you for this person in my life. Feel the sincerity of that thanks. This is the second gem. And now, for the third time, we scan our day. Perhaps this time, we look for a moment of beauty, something you saw or heard that touched you in some way. Did you see the moon in the evening sky? Did you notice the intricate pattern of a leaf? Did you see a powerful image in a film or a piece of art? Did you hear a piece of music that gave you goosebumps? Our world is saturated with beauty, but our busy minds rarely pause to truly let it in. Choose one such moment of beauty that you encountered today. Recreate it in your mind. If it was a visual, see the colors, the shapes, the light. If it was a sound, hear the melody, the harmonies, the rhythm. Let the aesthetic pleasure of that moment wash over you again. It asked nothing of you. It simply offered itself to your senses. It was a moment of pure, unearned grace. Feel the sense of wonder, or peace, or inspiration that it gave you. And as you connect with that feeling, offer your thanks. Thank you for this moment of beauty. Thank you for this reminder of the grace that exists in the world. This is our third gem. Now, in the quiet of your heart, gather these three gems together. The simple sensory pleasure, the moment of human connection, the encounter with beauty. See them shining together. They may be small, but they are real, and they are yours. They were true parts of your day. Hold the collective warmth of these three moments within you. Feel how they begin to create a quiet sense of fullness, a gentle inner glow. This is the truth of your day. Alongside any difficulties, alongside any struggles, this goodness was also present. This warmth is also real. This fullness is available to you. Take one last, deep, conscious breath. As you inhale, imagine you are breathing in the very essence of this gratitude, drawing this golden light deep into your body. And as you exhale, let go of any final remnants of the day's tension, knowing that you have acknowledged the good. Let this feeling of quiet fullness be the soft soil in which your sleep can take root and grow peacefully throughout the night. As we rest in this feeling of inner abundance, our senses can begin to soften and open in a new way. We have looked for the good. Now, let us learn to listen to the world and to our own inner silence with this same open and receptive heart. We rest now in a state of quiet fullness, our hearts warmed by the gentle embers of gratitude. We have looked at our day through a lens of appreciation, and in doing so, we have subtly altered the chemistry of our inner world, shifting from a sense of lack to a sense of sufficiency. From this new ground of inner abundance, we can now begin to open our senses to the world in a new way. Our next practice concerns the faculty of hearing, a sense that, perhaps more than any other, connects us to the ceaseless activity of the world. And our aim is to learn to listen, not with an ear of judgment or resistance, but with a heart of wide open, peaceful acceptance. We live our lives submerged in a vast, invisible ocean of sound. From the moment we wake to the moment we sleep, we are bombarded by a relentless symphony of noise. The digital chime of a notification, the drone of traffic, the murmur of distant conversations, the hum of household appliances. We have become so accustomed to this constant sonic pollution that we rarely even notice it, yet our nervous systems do. On a deep, primal level, this unceasing barrage of auditory information keeps our bodies in a subtle, yet chronic, state of alert. Every unexpected sound is a potential threat to be analyzed. Every digital ping, a demand to be met. We become victims of the soundscape, our inner peace constantly disturbed by a world that has forgotten the value of silence. But what if we could radically transform our relationship to sound? What if, instead of being a source of irritation and distraction, sound itself could become our teacher, our guide, and even our gateway to a deeper peace? This is the promise of mindful listening. It is the art of learning to hear the world, not with the reactive ear of the mind, but with the receptive ear of a silent witness. To understand this, we must first draw a crucial distinction between the act of hearing and the art of listening. Hearing is a biological process. It is automatic, involuntary, and fundamentally rooted in survival. Sound waves enter the ear, are translated into electrical signals, and are sent to the brain for immediate evaluation. The brain's first question is always, what does this mean for me? Is it a threat? Is it a pleasure? Is it something I need to act on, or something I can ignore? This is the ear of the ego, the ear of the monkey mind. It is constantly judging, categorizing, and reacting. It hears a siren and thinks, I hope there isn't a traffic jam. It hears a dog bark and thinks, I wish that dog would be quiet. It hears music. It dislikes and thinks, I need to turn this off. This reactive mode of hearing is what we engage in 99% of the time. It is useful for navigating the world, but it offers no peace. Mindful listening, however, is something entirely different. It is a conscious and intentional act. It is an act of awareness. It does not ask what a sound means. It simply asks, what is the nature of this sound itself? It is the practice of receiving sound as pure sensory data, as raw vibration, before the mind has a chance to wrap it in a story or a judgment. Imagine your ear is a sensitive scientific instrument, simply registering the pitch, the timbre, the duration, and the volume of a sound wave. It is an act of radical acceptance. A car passes by. Instead of reacting with the thought, there goes a car, we can learn to listen to the pure sound, the low rumble of the engine, the hiss of the tires on the pavement, the way the sound rises in volume as it approaches and fades as it recedes. We listen to it as if we have never heard such a sound before, with the open curiosity of a child. To practice this is to wage a gentle war against one of the mind's most powerful and instantaneous habits, the tyranny of the label. The moment a sound enters our field of awareness, the brain, in its relentless quest for efficiency, slaps a label on it. Dog, clock, rain, neighbor. The instant that label is applied, we believe we know the sound, and so we stop listening. The rich, complex, and unique sensory experience of that particular sound in that particular moment is replaced by a blunt, one-word concept. The concept becomes a wall between us and reality. Worse still, we then immediately attach a story to the label. The label dog instantly triggers a story. That's Mr. Smith's annoying poodle again. It always barks at this time of night. He should really train it better. I'm never going to get to sleep. And suddenly, we are no longer listening to a sound. We are lost in a mental movie of our own creation, a drama filled with irritation, judgment, and anxiety. The original sound, the pure vibration that entered our ear, is long forgotten, buried under layers and layers of our own mental commentary. Mindful listening is the art of stopping this process. It is the choice to stay with the raw data, the pure sensation of the sound, and to let it be just what it is, without adding the second arrow of our own story. It is the practice of naked listening, hearing the world without the filter of our conceptual minds. This practice ultimately leads us to a profound discovery. Peace is not found in the absence of noise, but in our ability to find the silence that holds all noise. A powerful Zen story illustrates this. A great general, a man who had spent his life on noisy battlefields and in chaotic war rooms, came to a Zen master. "Master," he said, "I wish to learn meditation, but it is impossible for me. My mind is too loud. It is filled with the clamor of war, the shouts of men, the clang of steel. I can find no silence." The Zen master listened patiently. He did not offer the general a technique for blocking out the noise. Instead, he led him out of the temple and up a mountain path until they stood at the base of a tremendous, roaring waterfall. The sound was deafening, a relentless, powerful roar of water crashing onto rock. It was 1,000 times louder than the noise in the general's mind. The master pointed to a flat rock near the spray. "Sit here," he instructed the general. "Your task is not to ignore the sound of the waterfall. That is impossible. Your task is to listen with all of your being for the silence that is behind it and within it." The general was skeptical, but he obeyed. For hours, and then for days, he sat before the deafening roar. At first, all he could hear was the overwhelming noise, and his frustration grew. He felt it was a fool's errand, but he persisted. He stopped fighting the sound. He surrendered to it, allowing the roar to wash over him, through him. He let his entire awareness merge with the sound of the waterfall, and then a strange thing began to happen. By accepting the sound so completely, by listening to it so deeply, he began to perceive something else. A vast, deep, unmoving stillness that was somehow containing the roar. He realized the roar was not the opposite of silence. The roar was happening inside of an infinite silence. The sound was a temporary event, arising out of this deep, eternal quiet and returning to it. He had found the silence not by escaping the noise, but by going to the very heart of it. He realized the noise in his own mind was never the problem. The problem was his resistance to it, his struggle against it. This is the ultimate secret of mindful listening. All sounds, from the most jarring alarm to the most beautiful melody, arise out of silence and inevitably fade back into silence. Silence is the background, the canvas upon which all sounds are painted. By practicing listening to the sounds themselves with non-judgmental awareness, we are paradoxically training ourselves to hear the canvas. We learn that peace is not a fragile state that is shattered by the first noise. Peace is the resilient, ever-present foundation of all experience. We can learn to rest in that background stillness, even while the symphony of life, with all its pleasant and unpleasant sounds, continues to play. An annoying sound then ceases to be an enemy. It becomes an opportunity. It becomes a bell of mindfulness, reminding us to listen more deeply, to relax our resistance, and to touch the profound silence from which it came. We have now explored the philosophy of hearing the world with a new kind of ear that listens for peace even within noise. Now, let us put this profound idea into practice. In our next step, I will guide you on a sonic journey, an exploration of the sounds around you and the deep silence from which they emerge. We have explored the profound idea that true peace is not found in the absence of noise, but in our ability to find the vast, deep silence that holds all noise. We have understood that we do not have to be the victim of the sounds of the world, but can instead become a wise and open listener, using sound itself as a path to stillness. The story of the general at the waterfall is no longer just a story. It is now our instruction manual. Let us begin the practice. Let us become the general, and let the world of sound be our waterfall. Let us learn to listen for the silence. Settle again into your posture of complete rest. Let your body be heavy and soft. There is no tension required for this practice. In fact, it requires the opposite. It requires a deep and willing surrender. Let your attention come to rest in your body, and specifically, bring your awareness to your ears. Imagine that your ears are not just biological instruments, but are like two large, open, receptive bowls, ready to receive whatever the world offers them. There is no need to strain to hear. There is no need to search for sound. Your only task is to relax and to allow the sounds of this moment to come to you. Our intention is not to judge, not to analyze, and not to resist. Our intention is simply to receive, with open and impartial awareness, the symphony of this present moment. For the first part of our journey, we will turn our listening attention not outward, but inward. We will begin with the most intimate and subtle soundscape there is, the soundscape of your own body. Become as still as you possibly can. Let the world outside fade for a moment, and bring the focus of your listening to the space within your own skin. The first sound you might notice is the sound of your own breath. Listen closely. Can you hear the faint, whispery sound as the air passes through your nostrils or the back of your throat? It may be almost imperceptible, a sound that is more felt than heard. Do not try to change it. Simply notice it. It is the sound of life moving through you, a gentle, rhythmic whisper. Listen to it for a few moments. Now, become even more still, even more quiet, and see if you can begin to perceive an even deeper rhythm, the sound or the feeling of your own heartbeat. You may not hear it with your ears in the conventional sense. You may feel it more as a gentle, pulsing vibration in your chest, or your neck, or even your fingertips. This is the faithful drum of your own heart, a rhythm that has been with you since before you were born, beating steadily, tirelessly, without any conscious command from you. It is the baseline rhythm of your life. Rest your attention on this deep, steady pulse. It is a sound of profound reassurance. It is the sound of your own being. Let your listening be exquisitely sensitive now. What other sounds of the body are present? Perhaps you can hear a faint, high-pitched ringing or humming in your ears. This is a very common experience, especially in a quiet room. Our usual habit is to label this sound tinnitus and to find it annoying, a problem to be fixed. For this practice, however, let us try something different. Let us receive this sound with the same open curiosity as any other. Can you listen to it not as an annoyance, but as pure vibration? Can you notice its pitch? Is it a high tone or a low tone? Is it steady, or does it waver? Do not push it away. Do not wish it was gone. Simply allow it to be there, another instrument in the orchestra of your inner world. By receiving it with this neutral, kind awareness, you can strip it of its power to disturb you. It becomes just another sensation, floating in the vast space of your awareness. Listen for any other subtle sounds, the gurgle and shift of digestion, the soft sound of yourself swallowing. Your body is a living, breathing, sounding organism. For these moments, Be intimately acquainted with its quiet, secret music. Now, let us slowly begin to expand the circle of our listening, keeping that same quality of gentle, receptive awareness. Allow your attention to move beyond the boundaries of your skin and out into the room in which you are resting. Without moving your head or opening your eyes, let your ears open up to the sounds present right here, in this space with you. Perhaps there is the low, steady hum of an electronic device, a refrigerator, a computer, a heating or cooling system. Try to hear it not as its label, refrigerator, but as a pure tone, a long, sustained vibration in the air. Can you notice its pitch? Does it have layers? A low hum with a higher overtone. Let your ear be a scientist, impartially investigating the qualities of the sound. What else is here? Perhaps there is a clock. If so, listen not just to the tick, but to the space of silence between each tick. Listen to the rhythm. Tick, silence, tick, silence. The silence is just as much a part of the sound as the tick itself. Perhaps you can hear the faint creak of the house settling, the rustle of your own blankets as your chest rises and falls. Each of these sounds is a small, temporary event in the stillness of the room. Receive each one as it comes. Let it be, just as it is, and then let it go, returning your ear to a state of open readiness for the next sound to arise. There is no need to name them. There is no need to tell their story. Just hear the sound as raw data, as pure energy. Now, let us expand the circle of our awareness once more. Let your listening travel beyond the walls of this room. Let it pass through the windows and the doors and open up to the soundscape of the world outside. What can you hear? Perhaps you can hear the distant drone of traffic, a low, continuous rumble. Hear it not as a source of stress, but as the sound of a river, the sound of the city breathing. A single car may pass by. Listen to the arc of its sound, the way it grows in volume as it approaches, the brief moment it is at its loudest, and the long, slow fading as it recedes into the distance. It is a wave of sound, rising and falling in the ocean of the night. Perhaps you hear a dog barking in the distance. Instead of falling into the story of that annoying dog, can you listen to the sound itself? Notice its sharp, staccato quality, the texture of the bark, the space of silence before it barks again. It is simply a burst of sonic energy, arising and fading in the vastness of the night. Perhaps you hear the faint wail of a distant siren. It is a sound we often associate with emergency and alarm. But for this moment, can you set that story aside? Can you listen to it as a pure, rising and falling tone, a long wave of sound traveling through the air? All of these sounds, the ones we label pleasant and the ones we label unpleasant, are part of the symphony of this moment. They are all welcome in the vast open space of your awareness. For these few moments, nothing is a disturbance. Everything is simply part of the orchestra. And now, for the final and most profound stage of our practice. Having listened to the sounds of the body, the sounds of the room, and the sounds of the world, let us now listen for that which holds them all. Let us listen for the silence. First, listen for the small pockets of silence between the sounds, the pause between the rustle of leaves, the quiet gap between the distant bark and the passing car. Notice these small moments of quiet. They are always here. And now, try to sense something even deeper. Can you sense the vast, boundless background silence from which all of these sounds are arising, like the deep, black, infinite space of the universe, and the sounds are just the temporary stars and planets that appear within it? This silence is not empty. It is full. It is alive. It is the canvas upon which the entire symphony of your life is painted. The sounds are temporary, the silence is permanent. It was here before the first sound, and it will be here after the last one. It is the peace the general found at the waterfall. It is not something you have to create. You only have to recognize it. It is your own fundamental nature. Rest here, in this deep, aware, and living silence. This profound acceptance of the world as it is, which we have just practiced with sound, is a skill we can now apply to our own memories and emotions. Having accepted the sounds of the day, let us now turn to the events of the day and learn the gentle art of letting them go. We have sat in the vast, open field of our own awareness, learning to listen to the symphony of the world with a new and accepting ear. We have practiced allowing the sounds of the moment to arise and pass away without resistance. This skill of profound acceptance is the foundation for our next, and perhaps most vital, habit for a peaceful night. The conscious and sacred ritual of releasing the day. For most of us, the day does not truly end. It simply collapses into the night. We fall into sleep as if falling from a cliff, exhausted and overwhelmed, still tightly clutching all the baggage from the hours that have passed. The ghosts of difficult conversations haunt us. The stain of a foolish mistake we made replays itself in our minds. The heavy chains of a resentment we feel toward another person are dragged with us into our beds. Our body may be lying still, but our mind is still at war, fighting yesterday's battles, rehearsing tomorrow's anxieties. And so, our sleep, which should be a deep ocean of restoration, becomes a shallow, troubled pool, unable to truly cleanse or renew us. The Zen perspective offers a radically different way to approach the rhythm of our lives. It invites us to see each day not as a single, indistinguishable link in an endless chain of time, but as a complete and whole lifetime in miniature. Your waking in the morning is a birth. You emerge from the void of sleep, fresh and new, into a world brimming with unknown potential. The hours of your day, with their work, their joys, their challenges, their meals, their conversations, are the living of this one short life. And the act of going to sleep at night is a small, sacred death. It is the natural, peaceful end of this particular life. It is a letting go of the person you were today, with all of their specific triumphs and failures, so that a new person may be born tomorrow. This view contrasts sharply with our typical linear understanding of time, where yesterday, today, and tomorrow are a relentless, unbroken line. In the linear view, the mistakes of today inevitably contaminate tomorrow. The anxieties of today are simply a down payment on the worries of the next. There are no clean breaks, no true endings, only a perpetual, exhausting continuation. But the cyclical view of one day, one life, is an act of profound liberation. It gives us the gift of closure. It means that the you who felt clumsy or unheard or unproductive today can be allowed to peacefully pass away tonight. The you who felt overwhelmed can be compassionately laid to rest. This is not some morbid fantasy. It is a powerful psychological reset. It is the understanding that our identity is not a fixed, solid thing. It is a fluid process. By consciously ending the day, we are releasing our attachment to that day's particular story, that day's temporary identity. We create the space for a genuinely fresh start when the sun rises. We allow ourselves to be reborn. But how do we practice this? How do we allow the day to truly die? The essential tool for this sacred act is the practical magic of forgiveness. When we think of forgiveness, We often think of it as a heavy moral duty, something we do for the benefit of another person, an act of magnanimous grace. But in this context, it is far more useful to view forgiveness as a deeply practical, even selfish, act of personal liberation. Holding on to resentment, anger, or a grudge is like drinking a cup of poison and waiting for the other person to die. It is like holding a hot coal in your hand with the intention of throwing it at someone. In the end, you are the one who gets burned. The bitterness, the tension, the endless replaying of the perceived injustice in our minds. These things poison our own peace. They burn our own hands. They tether us to the past and prevent us from being free in the present. To forgive another person is not necessarily to condone their actions. It does not mean you have to forget what happened, or that you must allow them to harm you again. It is simply the decision to no longer carry the emotional weight of their mistake in your own heart. It is a declaration of inner freedom. It is saying, your actions caused pain, and I acknowledge that pain, but I will no longer allow the memory of your actions to occupy the sacred space of my mind tonight. I will no longer drink this poison. I release you from the prison of my anger, not for your sake, but for mine. I set you free from my inner world so that I may be free. This is an act of profound self-care. It is the unburdening of a weight you were never meant to carry. Even more challenging, perhaps, is the art of forgiving ourselves. We are, so often, our own most merciless judges. We can be far more compassionate to a friend who has made a mistake than we are to ourselves. We lie awake and our minds become a courtroom where we are simultaneously the prosecutor, the judge, and the defendant, endlessly replaying our own blunders, the foolish word we spoke, the task we forgot, the moment we lost our patience. We sentence ourselves to a long night of shame and regret. Self-forgiveness is the practice of bringing that same kindness that we might offer a friend to our own heart. It is the ability to look at our own imperfections with compassion. It is the wisdom to acknowledge, yes, I made a mistake today. I was not perfect. I am an imperfect, learning, growing human being. In that moment, with the awareness and the resources I had, I did what I did. I cannot change the past. To forgive yourself is to say, I release the need to keep punishing myself for being human. I accept my imperfection. I will learn from this, and now I will let it go. This act of gentle self-acceptance is the key that unlocks the door to a peaceful mind. It allows the you of today to rest without being tormented by a relentless inner critic. We can think of this entire process with a simple metaphor. Imagine that your consciousness is a ship and the day has been your time at a busy, noisy port. All day long, you have been engaged in the world's commerce. You have been loading and unloading cargo, negotiating with other captains, taking on supplies, and weathering the occasional storm in the harbor. Now, the night has come, and it is time to set sail into the vast, deep, mysterious ocean of sleep. But your ship is not free to sail. It is tied to the dock by a dozen thick ropes. Each rope is an attachment to the day that has passed. One rope is a regret. Another is a resentment. A third is an unfinished task you are worrying about. A fourth is a conversation that ended badly. A wise captain knows that they cannot sail into the open sea while still tied to the dock. To do so would be futile. The engines would strain, the ship would groan, but it would go nowhere, held fast by the ropes. Yet, this is precisely what we attempt to do every single night. We try to sail into the deep, restorative waters of sleep, while still firmly tethered to the dramas and anxieties of the port of yesterday. We wonder why our sleep is so troubled, so shallow, Why we feel like we are straining all night and getting nowhere? It is because we have not untied the ropes. The ritual of releasing the day is the wise captain's final and most important duty before the night's voyage. It is the act of walking the length of the dock in the quiet of the evening and visiting each mooring post. It is looking at each rope, each attachment, acknowledging what it is, and then deliberately, consciously untying the knot and letting it fall away. It is an act of declaring the day's business complete. This is not an act of carelessness, but an act of profound trust. It is trusting that the ocean of sleep will provide the restoration you need. It is trusting that the port will still be there in the morning, and you, as a rested and renewed captain, will be far better equipped to handle its business. By releasing today, you are not abdicating responsibility for tomorrow. You are preparing for it in the most effective way possible. You are ensuring that you will meet the new day not as a weary, beaten-down sailor who has been struggling against his own ropes all night, but as a clear-eyed, well-rested captain ready for a new voyage. We have now understood the profound importance of this daily closure, the why behind the art of letting go. This is not merely a nice idea, but a skill that can be learned. In our next step, I will guide you, moment by moment, through a simple yet powerful ritual to review and release the day that has passed, untying the ropes so that you may sail freely into the peace of the night. We have explored the profound philosophy of release. We have come to understand the day as a miniature lifetime, and the act of sleeping as a sacred death that allows for a rebirth each morning. We have seen the wisdom in the metaphor of the ship and the dock, recognizing that we cannot sail into the peaceful ocean of night while still tethered by the ropes of the day's unresolved business. Now, let us move from the philosophy to the practice. Let us, together, become the wise captain of our own vessel. Let us walk the quiet dock of the day that has just passed, and with great gentleness and intention, let us untie the ropes. Settle into your posture of rest, and let us first create a space of absolute safety for this practice. Before we look at any difficulties or regrets from the day, we must first arm ourselves with unconditional kindness. I invite you to place a hand gently on your heart. Feel the warmth of your own touch. It is the touch of a dear friend. Take a slow breath in and a slow breath out. And in the quiet of your mind, make a promise to yourself. A simple promise. Whatever I find as I review this day, I will meet it with compassion. I will not judge. I will not condemn. I will only acknowledge and gently release. Let this feeling of self-compassion be a soft, warm blanket that you wrap around yourself. It is from within this sanctuary of kindness that we can have the courage to look honestly at our day. With this blanket of compassion held firmly around you, let us now gently review the day that has been. As we did before, let the film of the day unspool in your mind, from the moment of waking until now. But this time, we are looking for something specific. We are not looking for what was good or what was bad. We are simply noticing where there is a lingering feeling of tension. Where is there a stickiness in your memory? Where is there an energetic charge? As the scenes float by, gently ask yourself, was there a conversation that ended poorly, that left a sour taste in your mouth? Was there a moment of frustration, either with a situation or with another person? Was there a mistake you made, large or small, that you are still subtly punishing yourself for? Is there a resentment you are holding towards someone, a small, hot coal of anger you are still clutching? Is there a task left undone, a worry about tomorrow that is pulling at the edge of your awareness? Do not force yourself to analyze everything. Just notice what feeling, what memory, What rope feels most present for you right now? Perhaps several come to mind. That is all right. For tonight's practice, we do not need to untie every single rope. To learn the art, we only need to practice with one or two. So, let one particular memory, one particular feeling of unresolvedness, come gently to the forefront of your mind. Trust your intuition. Which rope is asking for your attention tonight? Let us now begin the ritual of untying. We will start with the rope that binds so many of us, night after night, the heavy rope of regret. Bring to your mind a moment from today where you wish you had acted differently. Perhaps you spoke a sharp word. Perhaps you were impatient. Perhaps you neglected something you should have done. Do not shy away from it. See the scene clearly, but see it through the lens of your compassion. You are not seeing it to condemn yourself, but to free yourself. As you see this memory, notice the feeling that arises with it. Is it shame, guilt, embarrassment? Where do you feel this emotion in your body? Is it a tightness in your throat, a hollow feeling in your stomach, a heat in your face? For a moment, just allow this feeling to be here, without trying to fix it or push it away. This is the feeling of the knot. Now, we will use the breath to untie it. Take a slow, deep breath in, and as you inhale, I invite you to acknowledge the complete truth of the situation. You can say to yourself, yes, this happened. I did this. I am an imperfect human being, and in that moment, I made a mistake. Hold that clear, honest acknowledgement at the top of the breath. And now, on a long, slow, complete exhalation, I invite you to offer yourself the gift of forgiveness. As you breathe out, you can whisper in your mind, and I release the need to keep punishing myself for it. I let it go. Let's do this again. A deep breath in, acknowledging the reality of the mistake with courage and honesty. I see this. I accept that it happened. And a long, slow breath out, a breath of profound release and self-compassion. I forgive myself for being human. I let the story end here. As you do this, visualize the thick, heavy rope of regret. See the tight, complex knot. And with each exhale, see that knot begin to loosen. The fibers soften, the tension releases, and on a final, deep exhalation, see the rope fall away from your ship completely, splashing softly into the dark water of the past. It no longer holds you. You are free from it. Next, let us turn our attention to another common rope, the rope of resentment. Bring to mind an interaction from your day where you felt hurt, angered, or frustrated by another person's actions or words. See their face in your mind. See the situation as it happened. And just as before, acknowledge the feeling that arises in you. Is it anger? Is it hurt? Is it a feeling of injustice? Notice this energy in your body. It may feel like a fire, a hot coal that you are holding in your hand. You may feel a powerful sense of justification, a desire to hold on to it because you feel you are right and they are wrong. Acknowledge this, too. Now, we will use the breath to drop this hot coal. Take a deep breath in, and as you do, acknowledge the truth of your pain. Yes, this happened. This hurt me. My feeling is valid. Acknowledge the ouch of the moment without judgment. And now, on the long, slow exhale, make a conscious choice for your own freedom. As you breathe out, say in your mind, "For the sake of my own peace tonight, I release you. I will not carry the weight of your actions into my rest. I drop this hot coal. I untie this rope." Let's repeat that. A deep breath in, honoring your own feeling. your own pain. I acknowledge this hurt. And a long, slow, powerful exhalation, choosing your own liberation. And for my own sake, I let you go from my mind. This is not about them. This is about you. You are refusing to drink the poison. You are refusing to let their actions dictate your inner peace. Visualize the rope that connects your ship to their story. See it fraying, and with a final, decisive exhale, see it snap and fall away. Your ship is no longer bound to the drama of that interaction. Finally, let us address the buzzing, anxious rope of worry, the rope of unfinished business. Bring to mind one task you did not complete, or one problem you are worried about for tomorrow. Feel the nagging pressure it creates, the low-grade anxiety, the feeling of, I should have, or what if. It is a rope that tries to pull your ship into the future, preventing it from resting in the present. Let us use the breath to release this too. Take a deep breath in and clearly acknowledge the task or the worry. Yes, this exists. This needs attention. Do not deny it. See it clearly. And now, on the long, slow exhale, I invite you to consciously and lovingly entrust this task to the person you will be tomorrow. As you breathe out, say to yourself, I trust that the rested, restored, and clear-headed version of me is far more capable of handling this than the tired version of me is right now. This is a task for the captain of tomorrow's ship. It is not a task for tonight's voyager. For tonight, I release it. Do it again. Inhale, acknowledging the worry. Exhale, consciously handing it over to your future self. With trust, visualize this rope of worry, not snapping, but being gently untied and coiled neatly on the dock. It is there, waiting, safe and sound, ready to be picked up in the morning if it is needed. But it is not attached to your ship. It has no power over your journey tonight. And now, take a moment. Be the captain, standing on the deck of your vessel. All the ropes you have chosen to work with tonight have been released. Feel the shift in your own being. Feel the new lightness, the absence of the straining, the pulling, the tension. Your ship is no longer held fast to the dock of the day that has passed. It is free. Feel the gentle, almost imperceptible drift as your vessel moves away from the shore, away from the harbor lights, away from the noise and the business of the port. You are now floating freely on the vast, dark, quiet, and peaceful ocean of the night. There is nothing pulling on you. There is nowhere to go. There is nothing to do. There is only this gentle, silent, peaceful floating. This is the feeling of true release. This is the peace of a completed chapter. You have died to the day that has been, and you are now truly ready for the deep, restorative voyage of the night. As we float here, on this vast ocean, free from the tethers of a single day, we can begin to appreciate an even deeper truth about the nature of all things. We can see that not only the day, but everything in life, every joy, every sorrow, every thought, every feeling is in a constant state of flux, of change, of flowing by. This is the great wisdom of impermanence. We are floating now, untethered from the busy dock of the day that has passed. We have released our grip on the regrets and resentments, and in doing so, we have found a new lightness, a new freedom. We are adrift on the vast, quiet ocean of the night. This feeling of floating, of being untethered, is the perfect gateway to our next habit, which explores a truth so profound and so fundamental that it underlies every other practice we have discussed. It is the wisdom of impermanence, At the very heart of the human condition lies a deep and persistent paradox. We crave certainty. We build our lives in search of solid ground. We yearn for things to last, a happiness, our relationships, our youth, our very lives. Yet, we live in a universe that is defined by the exact opposite. The fundamental law of existence, the very pulse of reality, is change. Everything is in a constant state of flux. We spend our lives trying to build a permanent home on the surface of a relentlessly flowing river. This deep truth, known in the Buddhist tradition as anicca, is the first great mark of all existence. It is not a belief to be adopted, but an observable, undeniable fact. To understand impermanence is to understand the nature of reality itself, and in that understanding lies the key to profound peace. Let us cast our awareness wide for a moment and observe this universal law in action. On the grandest cosmic scale, nothing is permanent. Stars, which seem like eternal beacons in our night sky, are born from clouds of gas, burn for billions of years, and then die in spectacular explosions, seeding the universe with the very elements that make up our bodies. Galaxies collide and merge. The universe itself is in a state of constant, accelerating expansion. Nothing is static. On the scale of our own planet, this dance of change is the very author of its beauty. The great mountains that seem like symbols of eternity are being constantly, imperceptibly, worn down by wind and rain. The coastlines are redrawn by the patient work of the tides. The river we see today is not the same river that was here yesterday. Its water is new. Its banks have shifted. Even the mighty oak tree, a symbol of strength and endurance, was once a tiny, vulnerable acorn and will one day fall and become soil again, giving its life back to the forest. The seasons themselves are our most obvious teachers of this rhythm. The vibrant birth of spring, the full bloom of summer, the graceful letting go of autumn, and the deep, dormant rest of winter. Life is not a state of being. It is a process of becoming and unbecoming. And of course, this law applies most intimately to our own lives. Our bodies are not solid, fixed entities. They are rivers of change. Millions of our cells are dying and being replaced at this very moment. The face you see in the mirror today is subtly different from the one you saw a year ago. We age, we grow, we get sick, we heal. Our relationships, too, are in constant flow. They deepen, they change, they encounter challenges, and sometimes they end. Our careers, our homes, our financial situations soar, are subject to the ceaseless current of change. And most fleeting of all are the contents of our own minds. A thought arises, and in the next instant, it is gone. An emotion of joy fills our heart, and then gives way to a feeling of contentment, or boredom, or sadness. Our inner world is a kaleidoscope of shifting patterns. Nothing, absolutely nothing, can be held onto. If this universal law of change is so natural, so complete, then where does our suffering come from? If the flowing of the river is simply the nature of reality, why do we experience so much pain? The Buddhist answer is elegantly simple. The suffering does not come from the fact of impermanence itself. The suffering comes from our resistance to it. It comes from our desperate, futile attempt to grasp the water of the river, to freeze a particular beautiful wave in time, to build a dam and stop the flow altogether. This grasping, this clinging, is known as upadana, and it is the direct cause of our deepest anxieties. We do this in two primary ways. The first is by clinging to pleasure, When we experience a moment of happiness, a beautiful vacation, a professional success, the intoxicating feeling of falling in love, the mind immediately attaches to it. It says, "This is good. I want more of this. I don't want this to ever end." And in that very moment of clinging, a subtle poison enters the experience. The fear of its ending is born. We can no longer fully enjoy the vacation because a part of our mind is already mourning its conclusion. We cannot fully savor the success because we are already anxious about maintaining it. Our desperate attempt to make the pleasant permanent is what robs it of its pure joy. The second way we suffer is by pushing away pain. This is the other side of the same coin. Aversion. When we experience something difficult, a physical pain, a financial loss, a rejection, a feeling of sadness, the mind immediately resists. It says, "This is bad. I hate this feeling. I must get rid of it right now." We struggle against the reality of the moment. We tense our bodies and minds against the unwanted experience. But this resistance is like struggling in quicksand. It only makes us sink deeper. Often, the suffering we create through our desperate, frantic struggle against pain is far greater than the original pain itself. The deepest form of clinging is our attachment to our own identity, our sense of self. We build a story of who we are. I am young, I am healthy, I am a successful person, I am a calm person. We cling to these labels, these snapshots, as if they were a permanent reality. Then, when life's river inevitably flows, on when we get older, when our health falters, when we lose a job, when we feel anxious, we suffer immensely. We feel that our very self is under attack, that we are being annihilated. But it is not our true self that is dissolving. It is only a temporary, cherished story. By clinging to a fixed idea of who we are, we set ourselves up for suffering every time the current of life reveals a new facet of our being. There is a timeless story of a powerful king who was plagued by these very human struggles. His mood swung wildly between elation in times of victory and despair in times of defeat. He summoned the wisest sages in his kingdom and gave them a challenge. "Create for me a ring," he commanded, "with a magic inscription. It must have the power to bring me solace and humility. When I am crushed by defeat, it must lift my spirits. And when I am blinded by victory, it must bring me back to earth." The sages conferred for a long time, and finally, they returned to the king with a simple gold ring. The king looked at it. Engraved on the surface were 4 simple words: "This, too, shall pass." The king was astounded by its simple wisdom. In his next great battle, when his army was on the verge of collapse, he looked at the ring. "This, too, shall pass." The words did not erase his danger, but they gave him a sense of perspective and courage, reminding him that this moment of despair was not his final destination. And later, when he had won a glorious victory and was being celebrated in a grand parade, feeling invincible, he glanced at his ring. "This, too, shall pass." The words did not diminish his joy, but they tempered it with humility, reminding him not to become arrogant or attached to this fleeting moment of glory. This inscription is the great wisdom we can carry in our own hearts. It is a universal mantra, a key that unlocks a state of equanimity. When you are caught in the grip of a powerful anxiety before sleep, you can whisper to that feeling, "This, too, shall pass." It reminds you that this feeling is a temporary weather cloud, not the eternal sky. When you are feeling a deep sadness, this, too, shall pass. When you are experiencing a moment of pure joy or connection, this wisdom allows you to savor it even more fully, not by clinging, but by appreciating its precious, fleeting beauty. This too shall pass. And how wonderful it is that it is here right now. Contemplating impermanence is therefore a double-edged sword of liberation. It soothes our pain by reminding us that no struggle is forever, and it hallows our joy by reminding us that no pleasure is forever, making us more present, more attentive, and more grateful for the good moments while they last. Embracing this truth is the ultimate act of alignment with reality. It is the act of learning to surf the waves of life, rather than being crushed by them. It is to finally stop trying to build a house on the river, and instead to learn the joy of floating. We have now explored the profound philosophy of impermanence, seeing it not as a source of despair, but as a key to profound freedom and appreciation. Now, let us move from the intellectual understanding to the felt sense of this truth. In our next step, I will guide you in a gentle contemplation, allowing this wisdom to permeate your being and bring peace to your mind. We have explored the profound philosophy of impermanence. We have held in our minds the wisdom of the King's Ring, the simple, powerful truth that this, too, shall pass. We have seen that this is not a morbid or nihilistic idea, but a key that unlocks a deep and abiding peace, a key that soothes our sorrows and sanctifies our joys. But to understand a truth with the intellect is one thing. To feel it in the very fabric of our being is another. An idea can be comforting, but a direct experience is transformative. So now, let us move from the philosophy into the laboratory of our own direct experience. We will not look for impermanence in the eroding mountains or the dying stars. We will look for it right here, right now, in the ever-changing stream of our own body, heart, and mind. Settle once more into your posture of deep rest. Feel the solid ground of the bed beneath you, a stable base from which we can observe the endless flow of change. Reconnect with your anchor, the gentle, rhythmic tide of your breath. The breath itself is our first and most constant teacher of impermanence. Each breath is a complete cycle of birth, life, and death. The inhale is born. It sustains us for a moment, and then it passes away, creating the space for the next to arise. No two breaths are ever exactly the same. For a few moments, simply rest here, feeling this gentle, constant reminder of the nature of reality. Inhale and exhale, arising and passing away. Now, let us begin our investigation. Our first area of focus will be the physical body. Let your awareness spread throughout your body like a warm, gentle light. Bring your attention to the universe of physical sensations that is alive within you at this very moment. Your intention is not to change anything, not to fix anything, but simply to watch with the patient, curious eye of a scientist. Let your awareness drift through your body until it lands on one single, distinct sensation. It does not need to be a dramatic sensation. In fact, the more subtle, the better. Perhaps you notice a slight tingling in your fingertips. Perhaps you feel a point of pressure where your heel rests on the mattress. Perhaps you become aware of a small itch on your shoulder, or a feeling of warmth in your stomach. Choose one such sensation, and let your awareness rest upon it completely. Let this one sensation be your entire world for a moment. Our usual, unconscious habit would be to immediately react. We would scratch the itch, or shift our position to relieve the pressure. But for this practice, let us do something different. Let us simply watch, without moving, without reacting. Can you observe the full life cycle of this sensation? With a patient and curious attention, notice the exact moment you can identify its beginning, and then watch it as it stays. Investigate its qualities. Is it sharp, or dull? Is it buzzing or pulsing or steady? Does its intensity change from moment to moment? Does it grow stronger or weaker? Does it stay in one exact spot? Or does it seem to move or spread? Be fascinated by the intricate, changing nature of this seemingly simple event. And now, continue to watch with this patient awareness and wait for the moment that it naturally dissolves. All sensations, without exception, follow this arc. They arise, they exist for a time, and they pass away. You do not need to make the itch go away. Its own nature is to disappear. As you notice it fading, as it dissolves back into the neutral field of your bodily awareness, you can silently acknowledge in your mind, with a sense of quiet discovery, this, too, has passed. Let us try this again. Let your awareness scan your body once more for another sensation, perhaps a feeling of coolness on your skin where it is exposed to the air. Rest your attention there. Observe its birth, its life, its qualities, and observe its inevitable passing. As it fades, acknowledge once more, this, too, shall pass. Through this simple, direct observation, you are experiencing the profound truth of anicca in your own flesh. You are seeing that your body is not a solid, static thing, but a vibrant, shimmering, constantly changing field of arising and passing sensations. There is nothing solid to hold on to. It is all a flow. Now, let us bring this same quality of investigative awareness to a more subtle layer of our experience, the world of feelings and emotions. This can be more challenging, as we are more deeply identified with our feelings than with a simple itch. So we will proceed with great gentleness. I invite you to gently call to mind a feeling you experienced today. For this practice, it is wise not to choose a moment of major trauma or overwhelming emotion. Choose something milder, perhaps a moment of slight irritation while waiting in a line, perhaps a flicker of happiness when you heard a favorite song, perhaps a moment of simple boredom in the afternoon. Choose one of these mild emotional memories and see if you can feel the echo of it in your body right now. Do not get lost in the story behind the feeling who said what or why it happened. Instead, try to connect with the raw, physical energy of the emotion itself. Where did you feel that irritation in your body? Was it a tightness in your chest, a clenching in your jaw, a heat in your stomach? What is the physical signature of that feeling? If you chose a happy feeling, where does that live? Is it a lightness in your heart? A warmth that spreads through you? Now, hold this feeling, this energy pattern, in your kind, spacious awareness. And just as you did with the physical sensation, simply watch it. Does it remain perfectly still and solid, like a block of ice? Or, when you bring the gentle light of your awareness to it, does it begin to change? Does the tightness in your chest lessen, even slightly? Does the shape of the feeling morph? Does it pulse or shimmer or dissolve for a second, only to reappear? You will see that even a seemingly solid mood is, in reality, a fluid, dynamic, and ever-changing process. It has no solid core. It is energy in motion. As you watch it shift and change, as you feel its intensity ebb and flow, you can hold the gentle reminder in your mind. This feeling, this irritation, this happiness, this, too, is passing. You are learning to witness your emotional states without being consumed by them. You are becoming the sky that allows the emotional weather to pass through. Finally, let us turn our awareness to the most fleeting and subtle layer of all, the stream of our thoughts. This connects to our earlier practice of watching the river, but now we do so with the specific lens of impermanence. For a few moments, just rest in the quiet. Sit by the bank of your mind and simply wait for the next thought to arise. You do not need to create it. It will appear on its own. Now, a thought has appeared. Notice how it seems to materialize out of nowhere, out of the silent backdrop of your mind. For a brief instant, it exists. It has a shape, a content. It might be a word, an image, a fragment of memory. And then, just as mysteriously as it arrived, it dissolves. It vanishes back into the nothingness from which it came, leaving a space before the next thought arises. Witness this process, the birth of a thought, its brief life, and its immediate death. This is happening moment after moment after moment. Our minds are a ceaseless flurry of arising and passing. As you watch a thought dissolve, you can acknowledge, with a sense of profound insight, this thought, too, has passed. Let us now let go of any specific focus. Simply rest here as the silent witness to the entire unfolding show of your experience. Be aware of the constantly changing field of sensations in your body. Be aware of the fluid, shifting currents of your feelings and moods. Be aware of the endless parade of thoughts, appearing and disappearing like bubbles in the air. See it all as one, single, unified process of flow. Nothing is solid, nothing is permanent, nothing can be grasped. Everything is like the flowing of the river, and you, the true you, are the calm, steady, aware presence on the bank that witnesses this magnificent, ceaseless flow. In this realization, there is profound peace. There is nothing to hold on to, and therefore, nothing to fear losing. There is only the graceful, intelligent, and endless dance of life, arising and passing away in each and every moment. As we rest in this spacious freedom, understanding that we are not our fleeting thoughts, not our changing feelings, not our temporary bodily sensations, a natural warmth can arise. A kindness toward this ever-changing, vulnerable, and beautiful human experience. It is this warmth, this unconditional friendliness toward ourselves and others that we will explore next. We have floated on the great ocean of impermanence. We have watched our thoughts, our feelings, and our physical sensations arise and pass away like waves on the water. This practice can bring a profound sense of spaciousness and freedom, a realization that we are not the fleeting, changing phenomena of our experience, but the calm, quiet awareness that witnesses them. And yet, for some, this spaciousness can feel vast, empty, or even a little cold. Having detached from the drama of our thoughts, what is left? What is the quality, the emotional tone that we wish to inhabit this newfound inner space with? This brings us to our next habit, which is the practice of actively cultivating warmth. It is the ingredient that transforms the cool spaciousness of wisdom into the radiant, heartfelt peace of an open heart. This is the philosophy of metta, or loving kindness. Before we can understand what metta is, we must first be honest about what is usually present in its absence. For most of us, the inner landscape of the mind is not a friendly territory. It is ruled by a relentless and powerful voice, an inner critic that has been with us for as long as we can remember. This inner critic is the ghost in our machine, the tireless commentator who sits in judgment of our every move. It is the voice that whispers, "That was a stupid thing to say," after a conversation ends. It is the voice that says, "You're not trying hard enough," when you are already exhausted. It is the voice that compares you unfavorably to others, highlighting all the ways you fall short. It is the master of shame, the expert in guilt, the connoisseur of inadequacy. We often believe, on some subconscious level, that this inner critic is our ally. We think its harshness is a form of motivation, that its constant fault-finding is necessary to keep us from becoming lazy or complacent. We believe it is trying to protect us from the judgment of others by judging us first. But this is a deeply flawed strategy, for it is based on the toxic fuel of fear. And a life motivated by the fear of not being good enough is a life lived in a state of perpetual, low-grade anxiety. This constant inner criticism creates a state of civil war within our own minds. One part of us is trying to live, to create, to connect, while another part is constantly attacking, belittling, and undermining. This internal friction is one of the greatest hidden sources of our exhaustion and stress. How can we possibly find deep, restorative sleep at night when a war is raging within our own head? How can we feel at peace in the world when we are not even at peace with ourselves? The practice of metta is the radical and beautiful antidote to this inner conflict. It is the laying down of our arms against ourselves. The word metta, from the ancient Pali language, is often translated as loving kindness, but its meaning is perhaps more accurately captured by the simpler term friendliness. It is not the passionate, romantic, or possessive love we often think of. It is not a sentimental or conditional affection, such as I will love myself if I lose weight, or I will be kind to myself when I achieve this goal. Metta is something far more stable, profound, and unconditional. It is a steady, gentle, and unwavering wish for well-being. It is the simple, powerful intention to be a good friend, first and foremost, to yourself. It is crucial to understand that metta, like gratitude, is not an emotion that we must wait to feel. It is an intention that we choose to cultivate. It is like planting a seed. You may not see the flower immediately, but by consistently tending the soil and watering the seed, the flower will inevitably bloom. The phrases of a metta meditation are the seeds, and the gentle repetition of them is the act of watering. We are not pretending to feel something. We are simply setting a new direction for the heart, turning it away from the habitual path of judgment and toward the new path of friendliness. Imagine your lifetime of self-criticism. Your habit of harsh judgment is like a thick layer of ice that has formed over your heart. It can feel cold, hard, and impenetrable. To try and fight this ice, to chip away at it with force, is an exhausting and futile battle. This is where the wisdom of metta reveals its true power. Metta is like the sun in the spring. The sun does not attack the ice. It does not struggle against it. It simply shines. It radiates its natural, steady, unconditional warmth. And under this gentle, persistent radiance, the ice, without any struggle, begins to soften. It begins to melt at the edges, and eventually it dissolves back into the flowing water of a living, feeling heart. The practice of metta is the act of learning how to shine this inner sun. The practice always begins with ourselves. In our Western culture, this can sometimes feel selfish or narcissistic, but in the wisdom of this tradition, it is understood as the most practical and necessary starting point. It is the recognition of the simple truth that you cannot pour from an empty cup. To genuinely wish for others to be happy when you yourself are filled with self-loathing is an inauthentic and unsustainable act. It is like trying to offer water to the thirsty when your own well is dry. By offering this unconditional friendliness to ourselves first, we are not being selfish. We are filling our own well so that we may have a genuine, overflowing abundance of kindness to offer the world. It is the most logical place to begin. The power of metta extends beyond our relationship with ourselves. It is the ultimate antidote to the poisons of anger, hatred, and fear. There is a famous story from the life of the Buddha that illustrates this perfectly. The Buddha's jealous cousin, Devadatta, conspired to assassinate him. He arranged for the royal elephant, a creature named Nalagiri, to be intoxicated with powerful drugs, driving it into a homicidal rage. He then had the elephant released onto the narrow street where the Buddha was walking. The scene was one of pure terror. People screamed and fled for their lives. Even the Buddha's closest disciples urged him to run and save himself. But the Buddha stood perfectly still. He looked at the charging, trumpeting, enraged elephant, and he felt no fear. He felt only a deep and powerful compassion. Instead of raising a weapon or using a supernatural power, he simply did one thing. He radiated a powerful, unwavering field of pure metta toward the maddened animal. The story says that as the elephant entered this field of loving kindness, it began to slow down. Its enraged trumpeting softened. Its eyes, which had been red with fury, became gentle. It knelt before the Buddha and allowed him to stroke its forehead. The untamable rage of the beast had been completely subdued, not by force, but by the gentle, invincible power of unconditional love. This story is a powerful metaphor for our own lives. The raging elephant is our own untamed anger. It is our own deep-seated fear. It is the hatred and ill will we feel from others. Our natural instinct is to meet this raging energy with more of the Sameto, fight anger with anger, to meet hatred with more hatred, to run in terror from our fear. But the Buddha's lesson is that these fierce, primal energies cannot be defeated on their own terms. You cannot put out a fire with more fire. They can only be tamed, softened, and transformed by the one energy that is their polar opposite, loving kindness. When you meet your own inner critic, not with more self-judgment, but with the gentle wish, "May I be peaceful," you are taming the elephant. When you meet a feeling of anger, not with suppression or aggression, but with the spacious, kind acknowledgement of a friend, you are taming the elephant. Metta is the great transformer. It does not destroy the negative, it alchemizes it. Therefore, the philosophy of loving kindness is the philosophy of ending the war. It is a radical choice for peace, beginning with the civil war inside our own minds. It is the understanding that friendliness is a skill, a muscle that can be trained. By cultivating this quality of warmth toward ourselves, we create a stable, resilient core of well-being. And from that core, our kindness naturally begins to radiate outward, dissolving the illusion of separation between ourselves and others, reminding us that every being, without exception, shares the same fundamental wish, to be happy and to be free from suffering. We have now understood the profound philosophy of loving kindness, recognizing it as the sun that can melt the ice of our inner critic. It is time to move from the idea of this warmth to the direct cultivation of it. In our next step, I will guide you in the ancient and beautiful practice of metta, learning to offer this gift of unconditional friendliness, first to ourselves and then to the world. We have now arrived at the heart of our practice for the night. We have explored the philosophy of loving kindness, of metta, understanding it not as a fleeting emotion, but as a conscious, cultivated intention. It is the steady warmth of the sun that can melt the ancient ice of our own inner critic and the frozen resentments we hold toward others. It is the practice that ends the inner war. Now, let us move from the idea of this warmth to the direct, sincere cultivation of it. Let us begin the gentle work of shining that inner sun, first upon ourselves, and then allowing its rays to extend out into the world. Find your comfortable posture of rest. Let your body feel settled and at ease. I invite you now to take your right or left hand and place it gently over the center of your chest, over your heart space. Feel the gentle pressure and the warmth of your own hand. This physical touch is a powerful reminder of tenderness and friendship. It is a gesture that communicates directly with the nervous system, a non-verbal signal of safety and care. Before we even begin with the words, we are already offering ourselves a moment of kindness. The practice we are about to engage in is simple, yet profound. We will be repeating a series of phrases, like the gentle planting of seeds in the soil of the heart. It is very important to understand that you do not need to force any particular feeling. The purpose is not to manufacture an emotion that isn't there. The purpose is to sincerely offer the intention. The words themselves have a power. The gentle, patient repetition of them is the act of watering the seeds. Some days, the soil of the heart feels fertile, and a feeling of warmth may arise easily. Other days, the soil may feel dry or hard, and you may feel nothing at all. That is perfectly all right. Simply offering the phrases, with as much sincerity as you can muster, is the practice. Trust the process. We will begin where all true kindness must begin, with ourselves. For too long, we have directed the harshest criticism and the most unforgiving judgment toward our own being. For these next few moments, we will offer ourselves the same gentle well wishes that we would so easily offer to a beloved friend in need. With your hand on your heart, bring your awareness inward, and silently, in the quiet of your own mind, slowly and gently, offer yourself the first phrase, "May I be safe." Let the words resonate. This is a wish to be safe from all inner and outer harm, safe from the accidents of the world, but also safe from the harshness of your own judgment. A wish for a feeling of profound security and well-being. And now, the second phrase, "May I be happy." Offer this to yourself, a wish for a deep, authentic, and lasting happiness. Not just the fleeting pleasure of a passing experience, but the genuine contentment that comes from a heart at peace. A wish for your own deep joy. Now, the third phrase, "May I be healthy and strong." Feel the sincerity of this wish for your own body and mind. A wish for physical health, for the energy to live your life fully. A wish for a mind that is resilient, clear, and strong. And finally, the fourth phrase, "May I live with ease." This is a wish to be free from the heavy burden of struggle, anxiety, and inner turmoil. It is a wish for a life of balance, grace, and gentle okayness. A wish that you may navigate the challenges of your life with a calm and peaceful heart. Let us now repeat this cycle once more, letting the words sink in a little deeper. With your hand on your heart, offer the gift again to yourself. May I be safe. May I be happy. May I be healthy and strong. May I live with ease. Rest for a moment, simply feeling the intention behind these words. You are filling your own well first. You are tending to your own heart. This is the most fundamental act of self-love. Now that we have established this baseline of friendliness toward ourselves, we will begin to expand the circle of loving kindness. Bring to your mind's eye the image of a benefactor, a loved one, or a dear friend, someone for whom you feel natural and easy affection. It could be a parent, a partner, a child, a close friend, or even a pet. Choose one being for whom your heart feels an uncomplicated warmth. Picture them clearly in your mind. See their face, their smile, feel the appreciation you have for them. And now, directing your attention toward them, we will offer them the very same wishes. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy and strong. May you live with ease. As you repeat these phrases, let your heart extend this genuine wish for their well-being. See them receiving this warm, golden light of your intention. Feel the natural joy that comes from wishing well for someone you care about. Let's offer it once more, seeing their face clearly. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy and strong. May you live with ease. Now, we will stretch the muscle of the heart a little further. Let the image of your loved one gently fade, and in its place, bring to mind a neutral person. This is someone you see in your daily life, but for whom you feel neither strong like nor dislike. It could be the person who serves you coffee in the morning, the mail carrier, a neighbor you see but do not know, someone from your workplace with whom you have little interaction. Bring the image of this person to mind. See their face, and for a moment, recognize them simply as a fellow human being who, just like you, has their own hopes, their own fears, and their own deep wish to be happy and free from suffering. Seeing their common humanity, let us now try to offer them the same gift. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy and strong. May you live with ease. You may notice that this feels more mechanical, and that is perfectly normal. Our hearts are not used to offering kindness without a reason. But this is the practice. We are training the heart to be generous and unconditional. Let us try again, seeing this neutral person in our mind. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy and strong. May you live with ease. Now, we come to the most challenging and perhaps most transformative stage of this practice. I invite you to bring to mind a difficult person. For the purpose of this nightly practice, it is very important that you choose someone with whom the difficulty is mild to moderate. Do not choose a person who has caused you profound trauma or abuse. The purpose here is gentle healing, not re-traumatization. Choose someone who perhaps irritates you, frustrates you, or with whom you have a recurring, low-level conflict. Bring their image to mind, and as you do, be aware of the feelings that may arise in your own body. You might feel a tightness, a heat, a sense of resistance. Acknowledge these feelings with kindness. They are understandable. Now, remember the philosophy. This next step is not for their benefit. It is for yours. It is an act of liberation, an act of dropping the hot coal of your own anger so that you no longer burn your own hand. Holding their image in your mind and holding yourself in compassion, see if you can offer them the phrases, "May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy and strong. May you live with ease." If this feels too difficult or inauthentic, that is perfectly okay. You can modify the phrases. You might simply acknowledge their humanity by wishing, "Just as I wish to be free from suffering, may you also, in your own way, be free from your suffering." Or even more simply, "I wish you peace." Choose the phrase that feels possible for you tonight. And let us try one more time. Seeing this person and choosing your own freedom, offer the wish. May you be well. May you be peaceful. With the exhale, feel yourself releasing the heavy chain of your own resentment. Finally, let the image of any particular person dissolve. Let the circle of your loving kindness now become boundless. From the center of your own heart, allow this feeling of warmth and friendliness to radiate outward in all directions. Let it fill the room you are in. Let it extend to everyone in your building and in your neighborhood. Let it spread out over your entire city, your entire country. Let it cross oceans and continents, embracing every single person on this planet. Let it extend to the animals, the birds, the fish, the insects, to the trees, the plants, the oceans, the mountains, to all beings, seen and unseen, near and far, large and small, and hold all of existence in your heart as you offer the universal wish. May all beings be safe. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings live with ease. Repeat it once more, feeling your heart expand to encompass the entire world. May all beings be safe. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings live with ease. Now, gently, let go of all the phrases. Let go of any images, and just bring your awareness back to your own body, to your own heart space. Rest for a few moments in the afterglow of this practice. Notice any changes in your inner climate. Perhaps there is a new softness, a new warmth, a new sense of open-heartedness. You have just practiced the radical art of choosing friendship over judgment, connection over separation. You have watered the seeds of kindness in your own heart. This warmth is now a part of your inner landscape, a resource of peace you can return to at any time. Having bathed the mind and heart in this profound kindness, we can now bring this same quality of friendly, non-judgmental attention to the home of our experience, the physical body. Let us now embark on a journey to inhabit our bodies with this newfound gentleness and care. We have bathed the mind and the heart in the gentle, unconditional warmth of loving kindness. We have practiced extending the sun of metta to ourselves and to all beings, softening the hard edges of judgment and ending the inner civil war. Now, with this newfound quality of friendliness as our guide, we will turn our attention to the very ground of our being, the home in which all of our experiences take place. We will turn our attention to the body. Our next habit is a practice of profound homecoming, a journey to listen to the silent wisdom that is held in our very own flesh. In our modern world, many of us live in a state of quiet, unacknowledged exile from our bodies. We have become masters of the abstract, living primarily in the attic of our minds. We treat our bodies not as our sacred homes, but as vehicles, as machines whose sole purpose is to carry our brains from one task to the next. We fuel them with coffee, push them through exhaustion, and ignore their subtle signals until they are forced to scream at us in the form of pain, illness, or burnout. We live our lives from the neck up, lost in the digital glow of screens and the endless labyrinth of our own thoughts. We have, in essence, forgotten that we have a body until it presents a problem. The practice of the body scan is a gentle, radical act of rebellion against this state of disembodiment. It is the decision to take a lantern of kind awareness and to begin a slow, exploratory tour of our own forgotten house. To understand why this practice is so essential for deep rest, we must first understand how the body functions as a living history, a storehouse for our entire life's experience. Popular psychology has a simple, profound phrase for this: the body keeps the score. Emotions are not just abstract events that happen in our minds. They are powerful, energetic, and chemical events that happen in our bodies. When you feel a surge of anxiety, it is not just a thought. It is a tightening in your shoulders, a clenching in your jaw, a knot of tension in your stomach. When you experience deep sadness, it is not just a mood. It is a physical weight in your chest, a palpable lump in your throat. When you feel anger, it is a heat that rises in your face, a tension that balls your hands into fists. In a perfectly healthy and regulated system, these emotional energies would arise, be felt, and then be discharged. A wild animal, after escaping a predator, will physically shake its body to release the massive surge of adrenaline and cortisol from the chase. It literally shakes off the trauma. We human beings have largely forgotten how to do this. We are taught to suppress our feelings, to be strong, to power through. When we are anxious at work, we cannot shake or cry. We must sit still and pretend everything is fine. When we are hurt by a loved one, we often swallow our sadness and carry on. But where does the energy of these unfelt emotions go? it does not simply vanish. It becomes trapped in the body. It is stored as chronic tension in our muscles, as rigidity in our connective tissues, as a subtle armoring around our hearts. Over time, this accumulated, unexpressed, emotional energy becomes the source of so much of our physical discomfort. The chronic back pain we experience might not just be from sitting in a chair all day. It might be the physical residue of years of carrying unspoken burdens. The tension headaches we suffer from might be the literal manifestation of a mind that has been clenching against life for too long. The body, in this sense, becomes a living archive of our personal history. And unlike the mind, which is a masterful storyteller, a brilliant creator of rationalizations and justifications, the body cannot lie. Its aches, its tensions, its areas of numbness, these are an honest, unfiltered report of our life's journey. They are the score. The practice of the body scan, then, is a journey of re-inhabitation. It is the conscious and loving choice to move back into our own home, to live fully in our own skin once more. It is important to understand that its primary purpose is not necessarily relaxation, although relaxation is a very common and beautiful byproduct. The primary purpose is awareness. It is the simple, profound act of re-establishing communication with a part of ourselves from which we have long been estranged. The tool we use for this journey of homecoming is the focused, kind attention we have been cultivating all evening. Our awareness is the lantern. The body scan is the methodical process of carrying this lantern into every room of our house, from the basement to the attic. We shine this gentle light on our toes, our feet, our legs, our torso, our arms, our hands, our neck, and our face, one section at a time. And we do so with one simple instruction: to feel what is there, without judgment and without any agenda to fix or change it. When we shine the light of our awareness on our feet, we don't demand that they relax. We simply ask, what is the sensation here, right now? Is there warmth, coolness, tingling, numbness, pressure? It does not matter what the sensation is. The practice is simply to feel it, to acknowledge it, to let it be seen. This act of pure, non-judgmental attention is incredibly powerful. For many parts of our body, it may be the first time they have ever been consciously felt or listened to by us. When we bring this kind, curious attention to an area of chronic tension, something miraculous begins to happen. The simple act of being noticed, of being held in a spacious and accepting awareness, allows the stored tension to begin to release on its own. We are not forcing the relaxation. We are creating the safe and loving conditions under which the body feels it can finally let go of its old armor. In this context, focused attention is one of the most potent forms of love. We can think of this process through the metaphor of a master luthier, a craftsperson who makes fine violins or guitars. When a master luthier tunes an instrument, they do not simply force the strings into a predetermined position based on a chart. They do not tighten a string mercilessly until it screams with a sharp, unpleasant tone. Nor do they leave it so slack that it produces a dull, lifeless buzz. The art of the luthier is an art of deep listening. They pluck the string gently, and they listen with an exquisitely sensitive ear to the quality of the vibration. They make a tiny, gentle adjustment to the tuning peg, and then they listen again. They are in a constant, sensitive dialogue with the string, listening for the exact moment when it finds its perfect, resonant pitch, that state of perfect harmony, of being neither too tense nor too slack. For most of our lives, We are clumsy luthiers of our own bodies. We are the instrument. Our mind is the luthier. We either over-tighten our strings with relentless stress, ambition, and self-criticism, creating a state of high-strung, anxious tension, or we neglect our instrument completely, allowing it to become slack and unresponsive through lack of care and attention. The body scan is the practice of becoming a master luthier for our own being. As we move our attention through the body, from the toes to the head, we are metaphorically plucking each string. And our task is to listen, with that same sensitivity, to the feedback. What is the tone in our shoulders right now? Is it tense and sharp? What is the tone in our belly? Is it soft and relaxed, or tight and knotted? We do not judge the sound, we simply listen. And with the gentle, loving touch of our awareness, we invite each part of our body to find its own natural state of harmony and release. This practice of deep, embodied listening is the ultimate homecoming. It is the healing of the painful split between mind and body that characterizes so much of modern suffering. It is the process of becoming whole again, of inhabiting our lives fully, not as a disembodied intellect, but as an integrated, feeling, living being. This state of wholeness, of peaceful embodiment, is the true foundation upon which a deep, profoundly restorative, and healing sleep can be built. You are preparing the very ground of your being for rest. We have now understood the profound importance of inhabiting our physical selves, of listening to the body's silent language with a kind and patient ear. Now, let us embark on this gentle journey of homecoming. In our next step, I will guide you, part by part, through your own inner landscape, reconnecting your mind with your body in a gesture of profound self-care. We have explored the profound truth that our body is not merely a vehicle for our mind, but a wise, living home that holds the complete, honest story of our lives. We have come to understand the practice of the body scan not as a mechanical exercise, but as a journey of homecoming, a sacred act of re-inhabitation. Let us now, with the kindness we have cultivated in our hearts, become the gentle explorer of our own inner landscape. Let us become the master luthier, not to force our instrument into submission, but to listen to it with sensitivity and care, inviting it back into its natural state of harmony. Settle into your final resting posture for the night. Let your body be completely supported by the surface beneath you. There is nowhere to go and nothing to do, but to be here, in this body, in this moment. Reconnect with the gentle, steady rhythm of your breath. For this practice, imagine that your awareness is a soft, warm, golden light, like the gentle flame of a lantern, and your breath is the fuel for this light. With every inhale, the light becomes a little brighter, a little clearer, and with every exhale, the light becomes a little softer, a little more gentle. Our purpose is not to force relaxation. Our purpose is simply to feel, to replace the lifelong habit of ignoring our body with the new practice of inhabiting it, to travel through our own home, room by room, and to simply say a quiet, friendly hello to whatever we find there. Let us begin our journey at the point furthest from the busy headquarters of the mind. Let the golden lantern of your awareness travel all the way down your body, down your left leg, and come to rest in the toes of your left foot. Bring your entire focus to this small, distant part of your being. Can you feel your toes right now, without wiggling them? Can you feel the big toe, the little toe, and all the toes in between? See if you can feel the sensations that are present here. Perhaps you feel the light pressure of a blanket. Perhaps you feel a sense of warmth or coolness. Perhaps there is a subtle tingling or a pulsing sensation. Or perhaps you feel very little at all, a kind of numbness, If you feel numbness, that is perfectly fine. Simply be aware of the absence of sensation. That too is a feeling. Acknowledge whatever is here, without judgment. Now, let this warm light of awareness expand to fill your entire left foot. Feel the sole of the foot, the arch, and the heel. Feel the points of contact where your heel rests on the bed. Feel the skin, the bones, the muscles of the foot. It has carried you through the entire day, and now it can rest. Take a slow breath in, and imagine that you are sending the breath all the way down to your left foot, filling it with fresh oxygen and this kind, gentle attention. And as you exhale, imagine the breath flowing out from your foot, carrying with it any tiredness, any stored tension. Allow the light of your awareness to now move slowly up to your left ankle, your lower leg, your calf muscle, and your shin. Simply feeling, noticing any sensations of tightness, or softness, or warmth. Just letting the light of your attention rest here, like a warm hand. There is no need to change anything. Simply feel what is true in this moment. Now, let the awareness travel up to your left knee. Feel this complex and wonderful joint, and continue up into the large, strong muscles of your left thigh, all the way up to your left hip. For a moment, feel your entire left leg, from the hip to the toes, as a single field of sensation, tingling with life, held in your warm, compassionate awareness. Breathing in, you are aware of your left leg. Breathing out, you invite your left leg to soften and release. Now, let us gently shift our attention. Let the lantern of your awareness travel all the way back down your right leg to the toes of your right foot. And we begin the journey again on this side. Bring your full, non-judgmental attention to the toes of your right foot, feeling whatever is there to be felt. Warmth, coolness, tingling, pressure, or nothing at all. All are welcome. Let the awareness expand to fill the entire right foot, the sole, the arch, the heel. Feel it resting, held, and supported. And now, let us breathe with this foot. A slow inhale, sending warmth and kindness down to your right foot. And a long, slow exhale, letting go of any tension it may be holding. Patiently, gently, allow the awareness to travel up to your right ankle, your lower leg, your calf, and your shin. Simply resting your attention here, feeling the life that is present. And now moving up to the right knee and into the large muscles of the right thigh, all the way to the right hip. Now, hold your entire right leg in your awareness, from the hip to the toes. Breathing in, you are aware of your right leg. Breathing out, you allow your right leg to release and grow heavy, sinking into a state of deep rest. Now, bring the lantern of your awareness to the base of your spine, to your hips and your pelvic area. This is the foundation of your torso, an area of great stability and strength. Feel the weight of your body resting here. Feel the contact with the bed. Let this area be soft and heavy, and allow the light to move up into your lower back. This is an area that often holds a great deal of tension from our daily activities. Do not try to force it to relax. Simply bring your kind, gentle attention here. Shine the light of awareness on any tightness you may find. And as you breathe, imagine your breath could move into those tight places, creating space, bringing softness. On the exhale, just invite them to let go. Let the awareness now spread around to your abdomen, your belly. So often, we hold this area tight with stress and worry. For now, give it permission to be completely soft. Allow it to rise gently on the inhale and to fall completely on the exhale. You are safe. You do not need to hold on. And now, move the awareness up into your chest, the space of your heart and lungs. Feel the gentle, rhythmic movement here as you breathe. The expansion on the inhale, the release on the exhale. Connect with the feeling of kindness that we cultivated earlier, and let that warmth permeate your entire chest area. Bring the awareness to your upper back and to your shoulder blades. Feel them resting against the surface beneath you. And now, move the awareness into the shoulders themselves. The shoulders so often carry the invisible weight of our responsibilities and our burdens. Feel that weight for a moment, and on your next long exhale, give your shoulders full and complete permission to release that weight. Let them melt. Let them soften down and away from your ears. Let them be at rest. From your shoulders, let the light of your awareness now flow down into your arms, simultaneously down your left arm and your right arm, feeling the upper arms, the elbows, the forearms, feeling them growing heavy and warm. Let the awareness pour down into your hands. Bring a deep and curious attention to your hands. Feel the palms, the back of the hands. See if you can feel each finger, one by one. The thumbs, the index fingers, and all the way to the little fingers. Feel the space between the fingers. Perhaps you can feel a subtle tingling, a warmth, a pulsing energy in your hands. They have worked so hard for you today. Now, they can be completely at rest. Now, bring the lantern of your awareness up to your neck and your throat, an area where words can get stuck, where tension can easily accumulate. Invite the muscles in your neck to be soft. Allow your throat to be open and relaxed. And now, let the gentle light of awareness travel up into your face. Bring your attention to your jaw. Let go of any clenching. Allow your upper and lower teeth to part slightly, and let your tongue rest gently in the bottom of your mouth. Soften the cheeks, soften the lips. Let a gentle, peaceful expression rest upon your face. Now, bring your awareness to the many tiny muscles around your eyes. Invite them to soften and release. Let your eyeballs feel heavy and at rest in their sockets. And finally, bring your awareness to your forehead. Let it become smooth, wide, and open, releasing any final furrows of thought or worry. Let your entire face be a mask of pure, serene repose. Lastly, let the light of your awareness come to rest at the very top of your head, the crown of your head. And from this vantage point, on your next exhale, let your awareness cascade down, filling your entire body from head to toe. Feel your whole body, all at once, as one single, unified field of sensation. Your whole body breathing, your whole body tingling with life, your whole body resting deeply. You are not just a mind, thinking. You are not just a heart, feeling. You are a complete, living, breathing being. You are now fully home in your body. This is the feeling of embodied presence. This is the peace of wholeness. Resting here, in this state of profound, embodied peace, with mind, heart, and body finally united, we are ready for our final, simple act of the night. We are ready to consciously set our intention for the journey ahead. We have come to the final step of our nightly pilgrimage. Our journey this evening has been a practice of profound preparation. We began by consecrating our outer space, creating a physical sanctuary. We then turned inward, calming the body with the anchor of the breath, and learning to witness the ceaseless flow of the mind from a place of spacious, non-judgmental awareness. We filled our hearts with the warmth of gratitude and the unconditional friendliness of metta. We have listened with a new kind of ear to the symphony of the world and the wisdom of our own bodies. We have untied the heavy ropes of the day's regrets and resentments, and we have floated in the freeing realization of impermanence. We have arrived here, in this moment, in a state of quiet, embodied, and open-hearted presence. The house is clean, the mind is still, the heart is warm. And so, the final question arises: what now? What is the final, graceful gesture that bridges this sacred state of presence with the mysterious, unknown territory of sleep? This brings us to our 10th and final habit, the simple, yet profoundly powerful, act of setting an intention for rest. This is the last turning of the key in the lock. It is the act that seals our practice and gives shape, meaning, and purpose to the hours of darkness ahead. To understand the importance of this final step, we must first examine the two different ways we can enter the state of sleep. We can think of them as two different gates. The first, and by far the most common in our modern world, is the gate of collapse. This is the way of unconsciousness. Through this gate, we do not choose to go to sleep. We are taken by it. We spend our final waking moments distracting ourselves until the very last second, scrolling through our phones, watching one more episode, worrying about one more problem. We use the engine of our mind until it runs out of fuel, and then our consciousness simply blinks out. We fall into sleep as a computer crashes, as a building collapses under its own weight. It is not a gentle descent, but a plummet from exhaustion. When we enter sleep through the gate of collapse, we carry all the frantic, anxious energy of our day with us. Our nervous system is still in a state of high alert. Our mind is still processing the arguments, the anxieties, the endless stimuli. We are, in essence, falling asleep in the middle of a battle. It is no wonder, then, that our sleep is often shallow, fragmented, and unrestorative. We wake up feeling as though we have run a marathon in our dreams, because on a deep neurological level, we have. In this approach, we are a victim of our own tiredness. There is no agency, no grace, no peace. The second gate offers a radically different path. It is the gate of conscious surrender. The path of surrender is not passive, and it is not collapse. It is, in fact, an act of supreme courage and trust. It requires us to do the work of preparing ourselves, just as we have done this evening, and then to consciously, deliberately, and lovingly let go of the controls. It is the difference between being shipwrecked and thrown into the ocean, and being a diver who stands at the edge of the boat, takes a deep breath, and chooses to leap into the deep. The outcome is the same in both cases. You enter the water, but the inner experience could not be more different. One is an experience of chaos, terror, and victimhood. The other is an experience of agency, trust, and graceful release. Setting an intention is the final, conscious breath the diver takes before they leap. Let us return to our metaphor of the ship and the captain. All evening, we have been the wise captain, preparing our vessel for its nightly voyage. We have cleaned the decks and secured the cargo. We have untied every rope that held us to the busy, noisy port of the day. Our ship is now floating freely on the calm, dark waters of the present moment. Now, what is the captain's final act before they, too, can go to rest, trusting their able crew to navigate the deep? The captain goes to the helm, sets the compass, and gives a clear, simple, and trusting command that sets the course for the entire journey. This final command is our intention. An intention, in this context, is not a goal that we must strive to achieve. It is not a wish filled with desperate hope. It is a clear, quiet statement of purpose. It is the rudder that gently and almost imperceptibly orients our entire being toward healing and peace. An intention might be as simple as, "My purpose for this night is deep, restorative rest," or, I intend to allow my body the space it needs to heal. Or I will meet the world of my dreams with peace and curiosity. This simple act of framing has a profound psychological effect. It transforms the nature of sleep from being a blank, empty void between two productive days a little death that we must endure into a purposeful and sacred part of our lives. The darkness is no longer empty. It is now imbued with purpose. It is the sacred workshop where the soul and body do their deep, quiet work of repair, integration, and renewal. We are telling our deepest self, our subconscious mind, what this time is for, and that deepest self, which is always listening, will respond. We can find another powerful metaphor for this process in the art of Zen archery. A novice archer believes that the most important moment is the release of the arrow. They focus on the physical act of pulling the string and letting it go. But a master archer knows that the release of the arrow is the very last and least important part of the process. The true art lies in the preparation. The master goes through a deep, meditative ritual. They calm their breath. They still their mind. They feel the ground beneath their feet. They enter a state of profound concentration where there is no longer any separation between themselves, the bow, the arrow, and the target. They become one with their intention. When this perfect alignment is achieved, the release of the arrow is not a forceful, willed action. It is an effortless letting go. The arrow flies true, not because it was forced, but because the conditions for its perfect flight were so meticulously prepared. This entire evening, all 9 habits we have practiced has been our preparation. It has been the ritual of the master archer. We have calmed our body, stilled our mind, and opened our heart. We have brought ourselves into a state of alignment with peace. The final act of setting an intention is that moment of becoming one with the target of deep, healing rest. And the final act of falling asleep is the effortless release of the arrow. We do not have to try to fall asleep. We do not have to force it or worry about it. We have created the perfect conditions. We have aimed the arrow with our clear intention. Now, all we have to do is trust and let go. Sleep will come, not as an enemy we must conquer, but as the natural, graceful consequence of our perfect preparation and our final, trusting release. Therefore, this final habit is the capstone of our entire nightly practice. It is the ultimate act of mindful agency, the conscious choice to frame our rest as a sacred pilgrimage. It is also the ultimate act of trust. It is trust in our body's deep, innate wisdom to heal itself. It is trust in our mind's capacity to find peace. And it is trust in the great, mysterious intelligence of the night to hold us, to restore us, and to deliver us safely to the shore of a new morning. It is the final, loving whisper we offer to ourselves before we surrender to the deep. It is the turning of the key that locks the door on the day that has been and opens the door to the boundless peace of the night. We have now understood the profound power of this final, conscious act, the why, behind setting a clear and kind direction for our night's journey. Now, as our final practice, let us bring this all together. Let us become the wise captain, the master archer, and offer our final gentle command to the soul. And so we arrive at the final shore, the last gentle step of our nightly pilgrimage. We have journeyed far this evening, not across miles, but through the vast and intricate landscapes of our own inner world. Let us take a moment now, before our final act, to stand at this high vantage point and to look back with kindness at the path we have traveled. Let us gather all the threads of our practice, weaving them together into the beautiful tapestry of this present moment. Remember, first, the quiet dignity of your outer space. Recall the feeling of entering a room that you had consciously consecrated for rest, a sanctuary cleared of the day's clutter and chaos. This prepared ground was the first and most vital act of kindness to yourself. Then, feel again the return to your oldest and most faithful friend, the breath. Feel the gentle, steady rhythm that became your anchor in the stormy sea of the mind, the constant calming presence that brought you back, time and again, to the safety of the here and now. From that place of anchored calm, you found the courage to sit by the river of your own mind. You learned to watch the clouds of thought drift across the vast open sky of your awareness, realizing that you are not the fleeting weather, but the sky itself. Feel now the quiet, resonant warmth in the center of your chest. This is the echo of gratitude, the memory of the 3 small gems of goodness you uncovered from your day, reminders that even in difficulty, there is always a current of grace. Feel, too, the gentle, sun-like radiance of loving kindness, the metta you offered first to your own deserving heart, and then allowed to expand outward, dissolving the illusion of separation and connecting you to all of life. You then learned to listen with a new kind of ear, receiving the sounds of the world not as disturbances, but as vibrations in a great ocean of silence, finding peace even in the midst of noise. You then became the wise captain of your own vessel, bravely walking the dock of the day and untying the heavy ropes of regret and resentment, setting yourself free. From that place of freedom, you floated into the profound truth of impermanence, understanding that all things arise and pass away, and that in this constant flow, there is a deep and unshakable peace. And finally, you undertook the great journey of homecoming, traveling with a lantern of kind awareness into your own physical body, re-inhabiting your forgotten home from the tips of your toes to the crown of your head. Take a deep breath and feel the cumulative effect of all this work. Feel the state you have so lovingly and patiently cultivated. The body is relaxed, the heart is warm and open, the mind is spacious and still. You have arrived. You are completely and perfectly prepared for the final, graceful act of letting go. You are the archer, perfectly aligned, the arrow resting on the string. You are the captain, your ship floating freely on a calm, dark sea. All that is left is to give the final, gentle command that will set the course for the night's sacred journey. Now, from this place of profound and integrated peace, let us give our journey into the night a name, a direction, a gentle purpose. Let us formulate our intention. The mind, even in this quiet state, appreciates a clear and simple instruction. Your intention should be simple, positive, and offered not as a demand, but as a gentle allowing. Let your heart choose the words that feel most true for you tonight. Perhaps your intention is one of physical restoration. You might choose the simple phrase, "I am allowing my body to engage in its deep and natural healing." Feel the truth in those words, the trust it places in your body's innate wisdom. Perhaps your intention is for profound peace. You could choose the words, "I am entering a state of deep and peaceful rest." This is a statement of gentle, confident movement into the state you desire. Perhaps you wish for your sleep to be a time of insight and integration. Your intention might be, "I open myself to the wisdom and clarity that my dreams may offer." This frames your dream time, not as chaotic, but as a source of wisdom. Or perhaps, the simplest intention is the most powerful. The single, clear statement, "I am resting." Choose your intention now. Do not overthink it. Feel which phrase resonates most deeply with your being tonight. Once you have your phrase, hold it gently in your mind, like a precious, glowing gem. And now, we begin the final ritual, the ritual of infusion and release. We will use the breath to weave this intention into the very fabric of our being. On your next inhalation, I invite you to silently speak your chosen intention to yourself. As you breathe in, imagine the words dissolving into the breath itself, becoming a luminous energy that is carried to every single cell in your body, from your brain to your toes. Let the purpose, the very meaning of your intention, fill you completely. And on the long, slow exhalation, I invite you to release everything. Let go of the I who is setting the intention. Let go of the practice. Let go of the memory of the day. Let go of all effort, all control. The exhale is a complete and total surrender. It is an act of trust. Let us practice this rhythm together for a few cycles. Breathing in, you silently offer your intention, filling yourself with its purpose. I am resting deeply. Breathing out, you release your very self into the vastness of the night, letting go completely. Again, inhaling the gentle command, I am allowing my body to heal, exhaling in total surrender, trusting the process will unfold on its own. One more time, breathing in your sacred purpose for the night. Let it fill every corner of your being. Breathing out, a final, complete, and profound letting go. The archer releases the string. The captain gives their final order and goes to their cabin. The work is done. And now, let go of it all. Let go of the practice. Let go of the intention. Let go of any need to control the breath. Let go of the sound of my voice. Let go of the listener who is hearing it. There is nothing left to do. There is nothing left to figure out. You have done all that you can do. You have prepared yourself beautifully. You are now an empty boat, drifting on a calm, dark sea, under a sky filled with stars. The tide will carry you. The current knows the way. There is no need for a navigator. Your journey into the deep will happen on its own, guided by the intention you have set and the deep wisdom of your own being. All that is left is to allow it, to trust, and to rest. May your rest be deep. May your dreams be peaceful. May you be held safely through the dark hours of the night, and may you awaken in the new light of morning feeling restored, renewed, and at peace. The nightly practice is now complete. The journey through the 10 habits is finished for today. All that remains is to rest in the peace you have so lovingly cultivated and to carry its echo into the new day that awaits. The journey of our nightly practice is now complete. We have traveled from a place of outer distraction to one of inner stillness. We have journeyed from a mind at war with itself, a frantic monkey swinging from worry to regret, to a mind that is as spacious and peaceful as a wide-open sky. We have walked the path from the cold isolation of self-judgment to the radiant warmth of self-compassion, transforming our inner landscape from a courtroom into a sanctuary. We have learned to listen to the world with an open ear and to inhabit our bodies with a kind and gentle presence. You have arrived here, in this moment, not by accident, not by collapse, but through a series of conscious, loving, and intentional acts. You have guided yourself home. As you rest now, in the quiet peace you have so carefully cultivated, let this one central truth settle into your heart. These 10 habits, these ancient and simple practices, are more than just techniques for better sleep. They are tools for a more peaceful life. They are a reminder of a profound and liberating truth, that the peace you seek is not something that you need to acquire from the outside world. It is not waiting for you in a future accomplishment, in a different circumstance, or in another person. It has been here all along, It is an innate capacity of your own being, a deep well of stillness that exists within you, beneath the noisy surface of your thoughts and the turbulent waves of your emotions. For too long, we have been taught to look for peace everywhere, but where it actually resides. We have searched for it in distraction, in ambition, in possession, only to find that these things provide, at best, a temporary relief. This practice, this nightly ritual, is a radical reorientation. It is the act of turning your gaze inward, of learning to access the boundless resource of peace that is your own birthright. The quiet moments before you fall asleep are your sacred training ground. They are your private temple, your nightly opportunity to practice the art of returning to yourself, of reconnecting with this inner wellspring. And as you move forward from this night, do not feel that you must perform this entire, elaborate ritual every single evening. That is not the purpose. The purpose is to know that these tools are now yours. They are a part of your inner toolkit, available to you whenever you need them. The journey to a more peaceful life is not a great, arduous leap, but a series of small, gentle steps, taken consistently in the direction of your own heart. Perhaps tomorrow night, your practice is simply to turn off your phone 10 minutes earlier and create a space of quiet. Perhaps you will choose only to watch your breath for 5 minutes, or to lie in the dark and remember 3 good things that happened in your day. Perhaps you will simply place a hand on your heart and silently wish yourself well. That is enough. One conscious, kind act is infinitely more powerful than none at all. You have planted the seeds tonight. All that is required now is to water them gently and patiently whenever you can. So rest now. Rest in the peace you have uncovered. Rest in the knowledge that you hold the keys to your own inner sanctuary. You are the wise captain of your own ship, the master of your own inner world. You have everything you need already within you. Sleep well.